Is that on then, Dante?
It says it's on. Yep.
Okay. No, it's not. Not there.
I can see.
Got something to do, so don't leave. Are you on claims?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you before you leave.
I can see the bar coming up when everybody talks.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll call this meeting in order. The Finance Committee clerk will call the roll.
Chairman Wildenhain.
Here.
Council Moran.
Here.
Council Rubio. 2 in attendance.
No public input. Date number 2.
2 is an ordinance and amendment of chapters 26 and 40 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, regarding municipal court and the establishment of a technology surcharge fund. Motion is to take up for discussion.
Motion's been made by Council Moran, seconded by Council Wildenhain, to take up an ordinance and amendment of chapters 26 and 40, Code of Ordinances, of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, regarding municipal court.
You don't want any.
Establish what?
You don't want any.
No, don't.
No, we don't.
No. The director's here from finance. He's got a brief overview of it. So we'll take that up now. Director, we were just saying something about we pay seven something.
No, we pay fees to the company that runs the stoplight.
It took a while, but I thought
those
it helped me too.
we pay over $7 per ticket to them to issue a ticket. And we right now that comes out of any of the fees that we receive for the ticket themselves, right? And they net that out.
Okay.
So some of this is a recovery of that, but I can read you specifically. This ordinance authorizes the Pawtucket Municipal Court to impose a technology surcharge fee in the amount of $3.50 per ticket. The funds collected from this technology surcharge fee will be designated to support technology and technological enhancements in processing the violations. In essence, the technology surcharge fee aims to modernize and improve the efficiency of the Pawtucket Municipal Court's operations. In the event we have excess funds generated from the surcharge fee, the funds will be utilized to enhance community safety through promoting responsible driving behaviors with specific attention to school areas.
Right, so any monies, if this is approved, any of those monies will go to that. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Surplus fund. Council Milos, one quick question. If are you familiar with this?
I am. I didn't draft what I just heard. I kind of started it and got the ball rolling. And I haven't seen it since I was submitted to the administration my initial draft, but
I'm just curious. I know used to be in the practice in the past that when tickets were dismissed, we're still paying court costs, which the state ended up getting their share of court costs, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas that whole process of the court costs, if the ticket's dismissed, is the court cost dismissed too?
I guess it really depends. In most cases that I can see at the municipal level, we do dismiss with costs.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, if somebody qualifies for the good driving statute, and I know this because I have attorneys that call me all the time. Does my client qualify? Can we come in and dismiss under that statute?
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time the answer is yes, but subject to court costs.
Okay. So I'm wondering.
Now there are occasions where the court will waive the costs, but
Okay.
generally speaking.
And that's what I'm curious with this. If the court costs are waived, does this surcharge also get?
Well, there would be nothing from which the surcharge would derive. So if the case is dismissed in total,
Yeah,
there's no penalty, there's no fine, there's no cost, there's nothing to collect.
Okay. That's
Did I say that right? That makes sense? What I
Yes,
said?
yeah, it made sense, but I wasn't really sure because I knew, again, the law with the state that they were getting their share, even when we were dismissing tickets, they were still getting part of the court.
Even in the district court, like if I do a criminal misdemeanor prosecution, if the case is dismissed, there are usually costs, but on occasion the court will waive the costs.
Yeah.
A variety, it's indigency. Just there could be a number of reasons why. In those instances, nothing else.
Okay, that's all I. You, Council Moran, do you have any questions?
No.
No. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I would make a motion to.
Motion's been made by Council Moran, seconded by Council Wildenhain to approve the ordinance referring chapters 26 and 40 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket regarding the municipal court and establishment of a technology surcharge fund. Roll call vote.
Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
Council Moran. Yes. 2-0.
Thank you very much. No further business for the Finance Committee. Have a nice day.
Nice meeting you.
It's all good.
The lights matter. I don't know.
Are we recording now? sir?
Yeah, we're on.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you over here.
I'd like to call in order the committee on claims and pending suits today, August 6th, 2025, and the time is
6:11.
6:11. Clerk, would you take a roll call, please?
Chairman Rubio, Council Russo.
Yeah.
Council Moreno.
Here.
2 minutes in.
Public input is number one. Dante, is anybody online for public input?
We have one person on, but they haven't said it. They haven't clarified if they're public input or not. Can you, if you can hear us, can you please, if you're looking to speak in public input, can you please press raise hand at this time on this meeting?
Come public input for the.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, for the claims committee. And no hands been raised.
Yes, item 2, we have a vehicle. Aim, from. Startup. A rubber era. As in, out of 276 and 8. Hours and 81 cents. And then it's a tire.
The motion by Councilor Moreno, second by Councilor Ruja, that we take up the claim vehicle for Sandra Barada for $268.81 to tie. We do have Councilor Milos here, our solicitor. As we read through this field inspection report, apparently it was submitted in time, the claim within the 7-day window. And I guess they did an inspection on Monday, July 24th, and they found that work is being done for the water department main replacement project, and the construction was performed by Seed Riddle Construction. So at that point, I feel that this was work done by the contractor. They probably would have to see, resolution from them.
The contractor.
With contractor from the water supply board.
From the contractor, right? Or would that be the ones?
Well, who did the works? Contractor.
Contractor for the water supply.
The other ones.
So, Council, what would you think?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
I think the water supply would have process.
Now, they have their own, we'll see. But I speak for the water supply board, but I would think that they were the same thing. Wasn't their personnel per se.
Right.
So. All right. Chairman, if I could. Wave over to see Riddle.
It's been moved by Council Moreno, second by Council Ruja, that we deny this claim and refer it to the contractor, Seed Riddle Construction. Any further conversation?
Good? Okay.
Yeah, roll call, please, sir.
Chairman Alujo. Council Moreno.
Yes.
2-0.
No further business coming before the claims. Radio claims pending suits.
Sure.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Closing public input, 6:35.
So we on?
You may, it might not even be on. Could you give it a, is the green light on?
Hello?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So, my name is Jennifer Almeida. I accepted the position of Director of Communications. Prior to joining the mayor's team, I was at an agency in Providence for over 15 years. This opportunity I noticed that it was open. I met with some members of the mayor's team and they were welcoming. The team was great. I've actually already worked with Councilor Windenhain on the couple of an event. I'm looking forward to working with all of you and helping you promote all the wonderful things that are happening in the city. Yes, I know, you told me.
Nick?
My name's Nick Radeska. I am the new Director of Finance for the City of Pawtucket. I come to you with over 30 years of finance and accounting experience. I'm a certified public accountant. I have an MBA. I've been the CFO of public corporations, and this is my first endeavor into municipal government and accounting for municipality. I welcome the opportunity to serve the citizens of Pawtucket, and I look forward to working with you all.
So Nick, there should be a piece of cake for you then, right? Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There is quite a difference between private and municipal, so we're hoping you hit the ground running and you're able to help us keep our finances in order. Is there any questions from anyone? Well, again, we didn't want to put you on the spot, but we do like to have folks come in and get a little bit of flavor for where they're coming from and where they're going to bring us. Welcome aboard. If you need anything from us, let us know as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Welcome aboard. Yeah. The next item is the introduction of an appointee or a nominee, Mark McLaughlin, for the PRA. Mark, are you here? How are you, Mark?
Wonderful yourself.
Welcome. We always thank folks who are willing to join forces and help on boards and commissions and things of this. And PRA, Councilor Rubio was not able to be here tonight, but she was on PRA for a while. We all know the importance of it. So could you give us a little flavor for where you've been and why you think you'll be a welcome addition to the PRA?
So pretty much a lifelong resident of Pawtucket. Have worked for Pawtucket Credit Union, now Coastal One Credit Union for the last 26 years. Head of the sales team for the mortgage department at the credit union, and just happy to help out where I can, and use my background, and what I've seen over the years to help the city out.
Well, we appreciate the resume is impressive. We appreciate lifelong folks giving back, especially folks in my district. Glad to have you aboard. Anybody have any questions from Mark? So it's pretty heady times, Mark, with the riverfront development and a whole bunch of other things and what we're going to do with Apex. So we need seasoned folks like you to jump on board. So we do really appreciate it.
Happy to be involved.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, are we at 6:30 yet? We are, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're running behind. The last item of pre-council is an update from JK Equities on their proposed project at 1 Mashashik Street. So with that,
Good
welcome
evening.
aboard.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the council. For the record, my name is Kelly Morris Salvatore. I represent JK Equities and Blackstone Distribution Center. With me tonight is Jerry Carlick, the principal of JK Equities. And we just wanted to say thank you for inviting us to provide an update on the construction of the development at 1 Moshasik Street of a 157,000 plus square foot warehouse with office space. And as you know, we provided a written response to you last month. Despite the difficult real estate financing environment, the developer has been able to secure financing through a construction loan, a tax credit bridge loan secured by rebuild tax credits, as well as additional funding from the Rhode Island Ready program. Additionally, the developer obtained its building permit on June 11th, and the general contractor is on site and working. We expect construction will be about 14 months. Now, unfortunately, we are compelled to address the unsupported and frankly defamatory allegations leveled by Councilor Gregor at 2 prior council meetings and in his letter dated July 31st. The developer has always acted in good faith to move this project along and has maintained a high level of transparency, and further has provided quarterly reports summarizing the efforts to obtain financing and move towards a building permit and completion of the project. They will continue to work to complete the project in a timely manner. To be clear, the developer is not in default on any of his obligations and continues to act in full conformance with the tax stabilization agreement. In fact, the city recently issued an estoppel certificate stating that the developer is in compliance with the TSA, and specifically that there, quote, exists no state of facts which would constitute a default on the part of the developer under the TSA. Furthermore, there exists no violations relating to the property. Your city staff has indicated that there are no notices of violation on the property relating to building code, property maintenance code, or the zoning ordinance. There are also no violations on the property relating to environmental matters from the Rhode Island Department of Environmental Management. Finally, any discussion relating to a rescission of the tax stabilization agreement must cease. The city entered into a valid contract with the developer who has and continues to comply with its provisions. Furthermore, your solicitor has provided an opinion that the council does not have the authority to terminate the agreement. So let's move on from this damaging and false narrative. We have no interest in pursuing legal action. We just want to move forward with this project. My client is making a significant investment in the city, and he's excited to be a part of. We appreciate the support from both the administration and a large majority of the council. We look forward to continuing our positive relationship in the future. And with that, Mr. President, if you have any questions of myself or Mr. Carlick, we're happy to answer them.
I think at the outset, if Mr. Carlick could just join you.
Yes.
So depending on what the questions may be.
Sure.
You can decide between.
Thank you for
yourselves.
having me.
Thank you, Mr. Carlick. So, I have a couple quick questions.
Sure.
And a couple tonight is quite a bit of confusion in the air about what is happening tonight. And I'll save most of that for the city council, but we are here to talk about your proposed development of One Mashashik, correct?
Correct.
And it's required to be completed by December of 2027.
Correct.
And I guess my first question is that a feasible target date? Do you expect to be completed by January of 2027?
So the short answer is yes, but it's not a proposed development. The development is happening right now. So this development will be done within 14 months.
Okay, that within the
Within a
December
time
of
frame.
2020.
Correct.
My only other question, to be perfectly honest, at least at the outset, and again, this was supposed to be a live update as opposed to a written quarterly update. Having answered that question to yes, you'll expect to be done by December of 2027. There is a loose thread out there about the National Park Service's decision relative to the city's proposed conversion of one portion of Morley Field and the Riverside property about a mile away. That is still in the air. What, if anything, does the NPS's decision on that conversion proposal, how does that affect, or does it affect you completing this project?
This project is a standalone. It's going to be built based upon the building permit. It's got no effect at this point on that other parcel, which, by the way, we don't own. So we're not doing anything there. It's been 3 years. And, this project is standalone. There's nothing else that's going to affect this project.
Within the boundaries of One Mashashik, or
Within the boundary.
the former microfibers.
Absolutely.
Okay, so those are the questions I had. I may have another one, but those are the questions I have at the outset. Councilor Wildenhain?
This thing, and I hate this thing. You said you're making a significant investment. Can you tell me how much that is?
About $42 million.
And back in the day when we talked about it, how many jobs was it going to bring to that area?
I can't be 100% sure, but it should bring hundreds of jobs.
And back in the day too, there was a commitment to try to use as many Pawtucket residents to fill those positions.
That commitment still stands.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Anyone else? Councilor Gregor?
How you doing, Mr. Colick? I'm Clovis Gregor, and you submitted a wetland application for to run through Morley Field in 2022, and the letter here that I have from the DEM is that they wouldn't.
I can't hear you. Would you please speak up?
There you go. That's better.
I said you submitted a wetland application to essentially run through Morley Field. And that was in 2022, October 12, 2022. There's a letter here from the DM saying that they can't approve it because of the outstanding issue with the NPS and Morley Field. So, and this is expired at this point. So have you applied for any new wetland permits?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And how do you propose that you're going to do the wetland permit without going through Morley Field?
I'm not familiar with this subject, so I can't answer your question. We don't plan on doing anything in Morley Field. This is a standalone project at this point.
Well, you still have to address the engineering aspect in terms of the wetland
I'm not,
application.
we don't have any wetlands at One Mashasset. No wetland issues, as I believe. We're building on a full site.
And so the concern with the community, as you can see, they're over here. They've been.
I'm sorry, would you speak up?
The concern for the community is that you left that site after you demolished it in a state as if it was in a war zone, affecting that community. You had tons of piles of contaminated dirt that were not even, for the most part, not covered at all. And when they were covered, they were haphazardly covered.
What's the question?
What's the question?
I am being respectful.
Oh,
I don't know what the question is.
See, the concern is right now, there is zero or very little remediation going on at the site. People have gone down there, taken pictures. There's contaminated dust flying all over the place. You're not even complying with the basis of your own remediation process. I understand that the city hasn't, you did get one zoning for rubbish back, and you left it unpaid until June recently when you finally got the financing for that. So,
Councilman, I would just respond that, again, there are no violations from any agency, city or state on this project.
Please.
Well, the fact that the city hasn't issued any other zoning violation other than that initial one back then.
No, the city or the state, there are no violations on this property.
Well, they've been paid.
Excuse me?
It was paid. The one from the city was paid.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. There are no violations. So
Well, there's no current violations. Well, that's been
There were-
cited.
So you'd have to explain, because I mean, there was one issue, it wasn't even a violation, that was taken care of 2 years ago regarding a trespass. And it was immediately taken care of on this property.
Yeah,
Other
but-
than that, there's no violations.
Oh, I'm not going to debate that with you. And I take offense to your mischaracterization of what I stated, because everything that I've stated here is actually a fact that people can see.
I would
People
have to
can
see
see the
I would-
debris.
I
People
would
can
to
see the contamination. People can see the air being polluted. People can see the runoff. Every time it rains, it's like a flood river going through your property into the Moshassuck River, contaminating the Moshassuck River and our storm system.
And if
that-
there
that-
were violations, they would be written on paper and you would have them. There aren't any violations.
Well, apparently you are favored so that violations don't happen. But doesn't dispute the fact, doesn't diminish the fact that those are the things that are happening. They're happening right now. You have no respect for the community. When you first initiated doing resuming the activity over there, porta johns were put right on the sidewalk so people could even walk. A woman had to, one person sent me a picture of a woman with a baby and a carriage had to go around on the street because this is what sort of respect you show for this community.
So Counselor Gregor, if the zoning official, building official have any issues, even that if they're not violations, where they'd like us to move things, my client would be happy to move them to a better spot, but we haven't been told these things. So communicate with us and we'd be happy to comply even with requests that are not violations.
I'm gonna let these folks speak, and also, well, the other issue really is that tax stabilization that was initially voted on by the council by its very own terms. 2020, when was this? February 22nd, 2023. You had until December 31st, 2024, in which to complete the construction, and if it wasn't complete by then, you had an additional 6 months had you requested it. So both those limitations have since expired. So tax stabilization can be automatically extended. They have to come back to the council, and you don't believe there's anything pending before us.
Council, I think that 2024, if this is going back a year, But there was language in there originally that said December of 2024, or the issuance of a certificate of occupancy. Unfortunately, it said whichever came latter
Right.
or later.
Right.
That language was cleared up when it was extended to 2027, because if that language were not cleared up, this is my understanding after, a discussion a year ago and more recently with the solicitor's office. By virtue of it saying December of 24, or the issuance of a certificate of occupancy, whichever came second, essentially, by January 1 of 2025, the latter was the only possible scenario, which essentially, correct me if I'm wrong, the position was that would have been in perpetuity, correct?
Correct.
That language
We-
was,
Yes, we
that
take the
language was
position.
corrected
Mhm.
to the city's benefit
Correct.
by setting a state-specific
Yes.
and no later. It's a certificate of occupancy or a
December
of
31st.
27, whichever comes
First. So that was absolutely a benefit to the city. Otherwise, it would have been an open-ended construction completion date.
Correct. And that was done through an agreement with
Yes.
the administration and your firm, your client, your,
Yes, it was done with my firm and the city under the tax stabilization agreement, which allowed for clarifications. So that's how we did it. Everything is above board. And again, it's
And-
for the benefit of the city.
so I just, yes, you're right. It says 2024, but the language included in that left it open-ended in perpetuity.
Yep.
So it was clarified in I think the term would be a de minimis amendment.
Yeah, absolutely a clarification
Yeah.
for the benefit of the city.
Well, apparently there's been some sort of background deal that where it's been extended without coming to the council.
It was not an extension. It was actually a reduction in time.
Well, now, so the community is supposed to believe that you will have everything done again by the next date. And then if that happens, what happens then?
My client just told you it will be completed in 14 months.
Well, that's what he said the last time, and left the site in such a this absolutely disgraceful place. In the, I live 3 blocks from there. Your workers out there grinding cement without any water being sprayed on it. I could smell it from my backyard.
That's not.
And that's
correct.
being in
That's not correct.
compliance.
Correct. Water is being sprayed,
Well,
and the city's inspectors were at the site this morning, observed that water was being sprayed. So that's not correct.
It doesn't give the community much comfort.
Sorry,
It doesn't give the community much comfort.
that water isn't being sprayed?
Well, I saw one person there with a hose. 85% of the dust is escaping.
Well, the city inspectors were there this morning,
Hmm.
and they said everything was fine, and we're in compliance with and mitigating mitigating whatever dust there is.
Mr. Collett, could you also speak up, please?
I said the city inspectors were there this morning. They've been there a numerous amount of times, and we're in compliance with the city ordinance, with the city building codes, as well as the mitigation of dust. There's water being, I was there this morning, water's being sprayed all day long while construction is going on.
And I'm just going to make our offer again, that if there's anything that is bothering anyone, contact us. And even if it's not a violation, we will do our best to take care of it. So if there's water not being sprayed, let us know, because we don't have any knowledge of that.
J.K. Equity has been contacted repeatedly over the last three years. Basic things such as protecting the community from the gated perimeter. Half of it from Moshasek was fallen down, left like that for 2 weeks going through Christmas. That aspect was communicated. Everything's been communicated. You only act when somebody calls you and tells you something. Yeah, we get the score report that suggests that you're in constant communication with the city.
We had a management company, local management company that was at the site at least once or twice a week, and anything that was a problem, we took care of.
Just like it's been taken care of for the last 2 years, left like it is. 30 days is what's allowed for contaminated debris and soil to remain on a property. It's been 2+ years that you've left it sitting there. That's being in compliance according to you, right?
According to the state and the city, we are in total compliance.
Your own remediation agreement that you executed says that you would not leave dirt, contaminated dirt on the piles for more than 30 days. You have failed to live up to that. The fact that you haven't been cited, given any sort of repercussions is beyond comprehension. I'll leave it
And
at
that's
that.
all enforced by DEM. And
Well, DM and the city, who's supposed to be protecting
and
our community.
no violations.
Yeah,
Respectfully, there are no violations.
well,
Is there anybody else that has any questions? Mr. Collar, could I ask you one
Sure.
more question? Can you give us a time frame or a construction time frame between now and that 14 months that you said? Like, when can we expect X, Y, and Z?
Well, I think that the demolition of the concrete structures is happening right now. That'll probably take through October, November until we start pouring foundations. And it'll take another 9 or 10 months to complete the building. So the walls will come up, foundations will be in, roof will be in. Some of the mechanical systems are already purchased. The steel is purchased. So we're moving in a pretty quick timeline.
October, did you say, for laying foundation?
Around October, yes. Around October, November, yes.
Councilor Gregg, I kind of cut you off. Did you have one more question? You had your finger up.
yes, I just have a couple more, Mr. Garlick. I appreciate your patience. So, one of the things is you speak about jobs. What assurances, if any, are you providing to most affect the community of Woodlawn? As a matter of fact, the general public and Pawtucket, period, the residents, that any jobs would be offered to them or preference.
Well, it's 160,000 square foot, supposed to be a distribution center, depending on the tenant. If it's Amazon, there'll be hundreds of jobs. If it's somebody else, it'll be another hundreds of jobs. I don't know particularly can give you a number today of how many jobs are going to be. It's speculative at this point. It depends on the tenant.
Well, so
It's
you
a distribution, it's a distribution center. Distribution center have historically had a lot of employees to handle the goods, to take them from the pallets into the trucks, et cetera, et cetera. So I can't give you an exact number, but we've done a study and we submitted that study to the city council and previously. So,
well, Mr. Gaudio, that's the thing. There's just been a bunch of numbers thrown out, 300, 400, 500 jobs. And none of these have been quantified. It's just numbers that's being thrown out. That be a fair assessment?
no, I think we did a study with, with somebody at a very highly respected economist who put together a study about how many potentially jobs could be created by this facility. And
Okay,
we've submitted that to the city council.
okay, this is what I'm going back again. So when you first proposed the idea of building this distribution center, and you were under the impression at that time that Amazon would be the occupant over there. The tops that's in and this is all documented, was the top amount of jobs you were expecting was 150. But now it's like 400, 500. I'm just trying to figure out.
I don't think that that's correct. I think it was,
It is.
I think it was over 300 jobs. I'm not going to argue the point because it does, I'm speculative right now.
Yes.
We don't know. But,
Okay, so
but
so
a
the
facility
job
of that
figures are
nature,
speculative.
sorry, let me finish.
Mhm.
Facility of that nature would employ many, many people. Now, I can't give you an exact number. The economist already gave us a number that he thinks is going to be between one number and another, but it's going to be many, many jobs,
Okay.
which you don't have right now.
Okay.
And by the way, Amazon, we were in discussions with Amazon. We would have loved to have them, and they may very well be back.
That's probably a speculative. But so I'm just going to let that go. So my concern here is there going to be an updated traffic study, because the one you did was about 3 years ago. And are you? Let me just finish. So
Yeah.
There's been some changes now. You're going to have a high school, a charter school right across the street over there being built. how are you, what will you plan on doing to protect these children that
So
are going to be in and around it?
Council Gregor, this is an approved project. It was
Mm.
approved by the planning board. It's in progress. We have a tax stabilization agreement. The work is being done. It's going to be completed in 14 months. There's nothing new to review.
Oh, really? So you don't think that having a high school with 400 students present doesn't require some sort of new updated
It
traffic
doesn't.
study?
It-
It doesn't.
No.
Well, that's news to me.
We
And
have an approved project that
Well-
we're building.
okay, but this is what everything that you say goes back to the fact that this was perceived as a done deal from the start. The fact that you initiated in 2022 a wetland application taking over Morley Field before an application to the NPS or RIDM had ever even been submitted. I mean, it tells people something about this project,
Councilman,
isn't it?
Councilman,
Mhm.
we are building this building at a standalone building. It's got nothing to do with Morley Field.
Okay, so are you stating right now that you will, as of today, you will cease trying to take the field from the people?
I'm not stating anything to that
Oh,
respect.
okay.
All right,
All right.
so
So you're saying that you're going ahead, building something, knowing that you.
Counselor,
Yeah.
we're going far afield.
Well, no, no.
Let me finish.
Yep.
She is correct. There is a approved plan, approved by the city, the planning commission, a tax stabilization in place. We're not going back 3 years to relitigate. Counselor Wildenhain asked if the commitment for any jobs that are created, the commitment stands to make every effort to make those jobs available, not only to Pawtucket residents, but to folks perhaps within walking distance. Is that still the commitment of J&K Equities?
We have fully committed to that. We are fully committed to that.
Well, this is a verbal commitment, right? Because there's nothing in writing.
We are fully committed. We're in front of city council and I'm telling you, we're fully committed.
Well, why can't you show a commitment right now to the council and this community that you will leave Morley Field alone?
I'm not making
Councilor,
any,
this-
I have not, I'm not here to talk about Morley Field.
Right.
I understand
Council-
that. But your project can't be done without taking Morley Field for your wetland application to do the stormwater system. Can it?
You are absolutely wrong.
Okay, do you have do you have a new plan that shows how you're gonna do that, the stormwater system without?
I'm not doing
going
anything
through
right
Morley?
now in Morley Field. And I don't own Morley Field. I'm not doing anything in Morley Field. I'm building a 57,000 square foot warehouse. And that's all I'm committed to do at this point.
Okay, so there's no commitment to the community then, because you can't sit here and tell us that you will leave the only green space in that community alone. You can't say that, can you?
I'm not saying anything. I don't know what to say.
Well,
I'm telling you that I'm
Wait,
building
we're
150.
Hear about a project at One Mashashik.
I
They're
understand.
here to give us an update on. That's why we're here. And this was supposed to be over 15 minutes ago. So I'll give you another minute and then we're going to move on to public input in our night's agenda.
But I mean, here's the thing. So the whole community here does not want your project. It will do nothing for this community. It will affect on a permanent basis the quality of life and the character of that community. The children are being deprived right now because of your project. Morley Field has been closed for 2+ years, denying these children. And if somehow you are able to manage it, which we will fight you all the way. You think the 2.5 years was not sufficient, there will be an additional 2.5 years or 3 years. We're not going away. Okay? So
right.
The fact that you can't do a simple commitment to tell us and tell these children you're going to have impact, you're going to impact generational. This is generational impact on that community.
Thank you.
And the only thing
I
this
have
council
I have
can bring
nothing
up
else
is
to say.
jobs.
I'm here for 157,000 square foot building. I came here voluntarily. There was no reason for me to come here. I came here respectfully because the city council asked me to. We're in full compliance with all the rules and regulations and
I don't mean to interrupt, sir, but please keep your comments to yourself until you're offering public input, or if you are offering public input. Please keep it to yourself.
Stop.
interrupting,
Please stop
Ms. Bento.
interrupting,
Please.
period. Let's get busy. Let's get the work done that we came here to do.
We are wrapping this up. Is there any other council member who didn't get a chance? Councilor Arujo.
Yeah, real quick. So when you're dealing with a warehouse, generally, it's what, 2 to 3 shifts? Did your economists look at that? Because that will, affect how many jobs will come into the community.
Council Maria, I mean, the answer if it was Amazon, it would be 2 or 3 shifts.
Right,
At
okay.
least.
Right.
And then there's in between shifts, there are other shifts.
Right.
Because they have their own shifts and then they have third-party delivery services. So the answer is, if it's Amazon, yeah, absolutely 3 shifts.
It really depends on the business that goes in there.
And that runs 24 hours a day.
That's understood. That's how warehousing is. It is usually 24/7, depending on who you get, but that will adversely affect how many jobs come in, and the number of shifts that are there.
Yes.
So I didn't know if your economist gave you kind of a, an assessment of what they think that would look like.
I don't remember the total study that he did, but I think it was submitted to the city council previously, and you can go back and review it.
I do recall, I think it was, they were looking at 2 shifts possibly when we were talking about it. I think it was 2. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate you coming down, Mr. Colley. Thank you.
thanks for having me.
Thank you both. Okay, next on our agenda is public input. We allow up to 30 minutes for public input. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 16 folks in person. Dante, do we have anyone online who is here for public input?
No, we had a hand rescinded.
Okay, so we have 16 to fit into 30 minutes.
Call me tomorrow.
My Tolman math says that's about 2 minutes apiece. So we will, before I call everybody up, it seems like many people, including, I got to introduce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 written comments we received today. All of them tend to center on the suggestion of a tax stabilization agreement being addressed tonight. There is no such thing on our agenda tonight. We will not be addressing anything having to do with a TSA tonight. So if that changes your mind about speaking, that's fine. I'm just pointed out to you all. Otherwise, we will get right to it. We've got, like I said, 16 people. And if by chance somebody says something predominantly what you want to say and you feel satisfied to say, I agree with so-and-so, that's fine too, but no need to cut it short. I'm going to ask Councilor Moreno to just time it for us, and we'll go with 2 minutes apiece. Just one second first, please. And we won't start it till you start speaking. It's not as you walk up from the back of the room or anything like that. But we're trying to get it done as expeditiously as we can and move on to the rest of our night's agenda. Councilor, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just want to make it so the public comment, it's 30 minutes. So I don't know how many people are here, but I would think 2 minutes is too short a time.
I just did the math for you.
Yeah.
We've
Okay.
got 16 people, 30 minutes. It would be a little bit less than 2 minutes, but we're going with 2 minutes.
Okay, well, but here's the thing, though. These people took time out of their work, out of their jobs, out of their lives to come here and feel in a democratic place, democratic city, they should be able to have their concerns heard. If that makes the council meeting go until 10 o'clock, then so be it. But this is what we're here for. It's to listen to the people.
So as you know, Counselor, I frequently allow people to go over the time frame. I'm looking to set it at 2 minutes so people will keep it as quickly as brief as possible. And again, I also just mentioned that I believe a number of you are here under a misimpression or misapprehension that we are dealing with the tax stabilization agreement tonight. We most certainly are not. It is not on our agenda. And maybe I'm misinterpreting the written comment in advance of the verbal comment. I'm just saying that to try to move things along as quickly as possible. And so you can address things. And if somebody happens to say exactly what you were planning on saying, understand that we've heard it. So we do listen. And we do, I've already read the majority of these. Some came in late, but I take them seriously, as my colleagues do, and we do indeed listen. So to move it along, we're going to start right now. The first individual signed up is Sue Anderbois. Is that correct? So Miss Anderbois, you're from 5th Street in Providence?
I am.
Okay.
Thank you, Council President, members of the council. I come to you as a colleague. I serve on the Providence City Council representing Ward 3, which abuts Pawtucket, just to the south, North Main Street. We end right at the Planet Fitness, so that's our little budding area. I'll let your constituents talk to you a little bit more about the things they want to talk to you about in your city. I come to you as a colleague. I'm hoping for some partnership, particularly around North Main Street. And I think Councilman Gregor brought up that some things have changed since the traffic study was done for the JK Equities project. And I just wanted to share some of that with you and ask for some follow-up conversation, knowing that some of your, I want to make space for your actual constituents. But as you may or may not know, North Main Street for the last several years has been the most dangerous street in all of Rhode Island. During my term on council, the last 3 years, we've had 4 fatalities, 4 people struck and killed by cars. And we've taken that incredibly seriously in the city. I've convened a task force that includes members of state agencies, including RIDOT, who comes to every single meeting, RIPTA, as well as several city agencies, to help improve the safety and also economic development opportunities along North Main Street. And we've made a lot of improvements in the last several years. Every street on North Main, until we get to the Pawtucket border, is now no turn on red. We've also increased the ability or the time for actual people to be crossing the street, slowing down the traffic on North Main Street significantly. We've had increased police enforcement. We've had to have extra days at municipal court just for the tickets coming off of North Main Street from the constant speeding we were seeing that was unsafe for our residents. I've invested in funding I found of over $500,000 in new lighting along all of North Main Street, including the part that was done first is actually the part that abuts Pawtucket north of 5th Street. So from 5th Street up to your border, we've added a ton of new lighting. And we did an entire road safety assessment right up to your border with RIDOT, where we walked the street for an entire day, marking out all of the safety impediments on the Providence side of North Main Street, ending right at your border on Mary Ann Street. We are also about to sign or put out an RFP for design and construction, design and engineer, for other safety improvements to slow down traffic on North Main Street that could include some pretty aggressive changes, including potentially a bike lane and lanes specifically for RIPTA. I would encourage you to participate in that process because it stops right at where they don't respect political boundaries. Like, people are driving between your town and our town, and I would love to partner with you on this, but I just wanted to raise that because I know if this one Mashasik is used for delivery, as soon as you hit North Main Street in Providence, we are significantly trying to slow down cars and slow down to prevent having more people die on my street, on my portion of the street. And so I wanted to share that with you. Other folks will talk, I think, about Morley Field and those types of things, but would love partnership for things that we can be mutually beneficial as it pertains to economic development across our cities. So Clovis or Councilman Gregor has all my contact information, but would love, and I would love to provide it to all of you so that we can work on things that are mutually beneficial and don't just stop at the border. So thank you for the time. I'll let your constituents talk next.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Sue.
So what's the time there? Okay. So just so you know, that was 3 minutes, right? So we're not, can I please speak? I pointed out so that you don't think we're trying to silence anyone. We're trying to get through it as quickly as possible. 2 minutes was a suggestion. If you can do it within 2 minutes, do it within 2 minutes. I'm not going to gavel somebody at 2, 2.5, 3, probably not even 4, but work with us is what we're saying. Okay. So the next person is Greg Garrett from one block over on 6th Street in Providence.
Members
Mr.
of the
Garrett.
council, my name is Greg Garrett. I am the watershed steward for the Mashasik River. I am also a student and a longtime observer of how economic development is done in Rhode Island, and it's not done very well. think that the project that you have in front of you is not going to produce the jobs that you think it is, because it's been delayed 3 years. Those trucks, maybe the big semis are going to come in, but the little trucks that do the deliveries are going to be self-driving in 3 years. You know, so that all these jobs that people keep talking about, they're not going to be there. There's going to be robots doing the deliveries. So that means that you getting almost no benefit for your tax stabilization in terms of jobs. You'll get money for, you know, property tax, but there will be no jobs in there. You know, instead of 350, you'll have 35 if all the trucks are self-driving and robots are doing the delivery. So that's something that you should think about. I mean, they're not here to answer that, and they're going to probably tell you that they're still thinking they're going to have drivers. It's an old model, and it is obsolete. The 3 years that they've been delayed by, you know, thinking about Morley Field, because Morley Field is the reason that this project has been delayed. And they just said now that they don't need Morley Field. So when are you opening Morley Field? You know, that's the whole point. If Morley Field had not been closed, this project would have been built already. And that's your fault. You guys have not said, look, open up the park. I mean, you couldn't sell the park. You tried to. You had an agreement to sell it. You couldn't sell it because the city was gifted part of that land. The other part of that land was given to, you know, the money was from the federal government, and you can't sell those parks. And the racial injustice that you're practicing by trying to sell it is not acceptable. And there will be a continued fight about that. So since the guy just said, we don't need Morley Field, when are you opening it?
Thank you, Mr. Garrett. Mr. Michael Pompili from Longley Court. Mr. Pompili, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you, Council President, members of the council. I've given my comments on this proposed truck terminal in the past, most recently a couple months ago, the council meeting just before financing coincidentally closed with a loan from Quonset Development Corporation, and construction magically started. So I'm not going to reiterate all of that, especially since many people are here tonight to speak on the same things and can speak more eloquently than I can on this project that the community neither wants nor needs. In light of Mr. Carlick saying that this is a standalone project and ignoring his weasel words that he's not here to talk about Morley Field tonight, let's take him at his word and accept this, you know, travesty of a truck terminal as a standalone project. Abandon the LWCF conversion application, since Riverside Cemetery is not a suitable replacement for Morley Field, and restore Morley Field like this administration promised Alma when she was sitting in the chair, well, the chair over there that Clovis is in now. That said, for a little change of pace, I'd like to address another item on tonight's agenda. I appreciate that Mayor Grebian wrote a letter to RIPTA in support of, or in opposition to, the cuts to the 71 bus, which is proposed to lose weekend service on Broad Street and all of its service on Pawtucket Avenue. What about the 4 routes in Pawtucket, the 73, the 75, the 76, and the 80, that are being eliminated completely? What about reductions in frequency on the 1, the 72, the 78, and even the R line? I'm not suggesting any of these are more or less important than the 71, but I can't understand why the city wouldn't oppose all the proposed cuts to our already meager public transportation system. I realize that the council is approving a resolution tonight to also oppose the cuts to the 71. I hope it isn't too late, since the RIPTA board's voting on these cuts tomorrow. But I would urge the council to amend that resolution to oppose all of the service cuts to service in Pawtucket, not just the 71. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pompili. Dick Tierney from Stratford Street.
Good evening.
Dick, how are you?
Dick Tierney, 52 Stafford Street. just trying to talk on Morley Field again. As the council knows, that district is in need of more recreation sites, not less. We've had Morley Field locked up for over 2 years, and I would remind you that the city made a commitment that that would be a forever outdoor public recreation site. So you're in a hard way, but I mean, the public needs your help here. We're going to get this thing going. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tierney. Looks like Forrest Snyder. Is that correct?
Yes.
From Eston Avenue.
Hi there.
Mr.
I hope
Snyder.
to yield most of my time since others have already expressed what I was feeling, but I would like to point out a couple of things. And I've worked down on Eston Avenue for the last 5 years, just down the street from Morley Field, and been working to have Morley Field opened since the week it was closed, actually. I understand we're not here to talk about the tax stabilization agreement. Excuse me, I've got frog in my throat. But I would point out that it's really the council's purview to issue a tax stabilization agreement, change a tax stabilization agreement, or cancel it. It's in no way the mayor's office's purview and not the city solicitor's purview. And that's by Pawtucket's own bylaws. I've read them myself. So I would expect that the council should issue some sort of agreement going forward with a TSA or not on that issue with One Mashasik. On the topic of Morley Field, I'd like to see it opened as soon as possible. And the reasoning given for its initial closure was that it was polluted and that there was toxic material in the soil. And I actually, over 2 years ago, paid for independent soil analysis of over a half dozen parks in the city of Pawtucket. And I found, and you know, the scientists found who did the soil sampling and analysis, that in fact Morley Field is no more polluted than any typical park in the city of Pawtucket. And there's really no reason, there's no justification whatsoever to have the field closed. So I appreciate your time and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Mary Healy from 85 Armistice Boulevard.
Thank you so much.
Miss Healy, how are you?
Very good. First, thank you all for what you do. I know that you're doing the best of your ability.
Can you step to the mic?
Pardon me. I just want to thank you all for
Pull it
everything.
down if you want. There you go.
All right. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
My apologies. The third time's the charm. Thank you for everything that you do. I know that you're all doing the best that you can, and I appreciate that. Like Dick had mentioned, he and I are both on the Parks Commission. We need you to open Morley Field, period. Open Morley Field. It's that easy. And if you don't open Morley Field, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're complacent, period. And I also wanted to talk about garbage cans in areas throughout the city. We don't have them. I pick up garbage every single day. There's no place to throw the garbage. No wonder people use Broadway as a garbage can. I'd advocate for more garbage cans in the city. I know that you could do this. It's low-hanging fruit. And then I would also say, get cars off the parking lots because nobody wants to live in a not parking lot, on the sidewalks. Nobody wants to live in a neighborhood where they have to walk in the street to get around things. So those three things, most importantly, Morley Field. Thank you.
Mr. Cameron Segala from Robinson Avenue. Mr. Segala, how are you?
I'm doing right. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
I had a speech prepared, but every time I come up here with a speech, you guys don't listen. You're not going to listen now, but I'm going to go for it. You forget your obligations to the people of the city. You speak to us like we need to listen to you. We don't. We can say whatever we want. We can do what we want because we are your employers. We employ you. You work for us. The only one on this council that understands that is Councilman Clovis Gregor. And here's another thing I want to discuss. During the last meeting, he said,
Councilman Gregor said, I guess 3 rallies isn't enough. And you, sir, seem to be confused. I don't know what was confusing about that statement.
About what?
Hey, there you go. Morley Field. 3 rallies about Morley Field. You say we don't want to relitigate this issue. We've been litigating this issue for 4 years when the project was first proposed in 2021. 4 years. Nobody in this community has been for this project the entire time, the whole project. Yeah, here we go. We're still allowing them to lie to us, right to our faces, come up here, lie to us over and over and over. Oh, it'll be done by 2027. 2024. That's what you guys agreed to. And this open language, nobody in this city cares about the language of that agreement. It shouldn't have been voted on in the first place because the people came up here and said no to it again and again and again. So how many times do we have to come up here? If this doesn't work, if emails doesn't work, if phone calls doesn't work, what else are people to do? Because at this point, the only thing that's going to work is to scare the hell out of you. Do you want riots? Is that what you want? Do you want people to get out on the streets and protest until you guys are gone? Till you're not in your seats anymore? Because we will make that happen. You need to start listening to us. We are your boss. I don't want to keep coming here after work to talk about this issue, but I will. I haven't been here in a while. I've been dealing with the school committee, and you know how much of a joke that is. All right? I don't want to come here every day or every meeting. I don't. I have work. I work a full-time job. And that's another thing you guys don't understand. The last time I was here, one of the last times, you guys were talking about the tax stabilization agreement for the Dexter Street Commons. And I said 20% workforce housing isn't enough. I think it was 20%. Forgive me if I'm off. No affordable housing. And people know the difference. Affordable housing, workforce housing, different things. No affordable housing. So we're handing out these agreements like they're candy. Okay? No, you don't do your due diligence like others have said. You're handing them out like candy. There's no guarantees for the community. No guarantees for affordable housing units and this trucking distribution center. There's no guarantees for jobs. And as Mr. Garrett already stated, in a couple of years, people aren't going to be doing warehouse jobs. It's going to be robots. I work in pest control. I service warehouses.
Yeah,
I will
we're at
tell
3
you.
and a half. I'm not going to stop you, but I'm just
Thank
reminding
you.
Okay.
I work in warehouses. I see it. There are less employees today than there have ever been before because they have automated robots doing the work. They don't need people. Okay. Jerry, whatever is Carlick, he does not care about workers in Pawtucket. He doesn't even know what's going on in our city. He's from New York. And I know it's easy for the mayor to be bought out. 2,600 from the Carlick family. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. He wants the project to go through. We don't. And come 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Segal.
And come 2026, we will vote you out. End this project.
Next person. The next person, Counselor. The next person is Representative Jen Stewart. Representative, how are you?
Good. How are you all doing tonight?
Thank you.
So I'll keep my comments brief because a lot of what has already been said tonight, I agree with, and I'll just highlight a couple of things. You know, recently I was reading about the JK Equities development in the Boston real estate Times, and it was described as, quote, an urban speculative industrial project, end quote. And one of the things I thought was really interesting about it is that I think as part of it, there are a lot of unknowns or to be determined, right? I think as part of what's speculative about it. Like we don't know who's going to actually use it, who's going to be the occupant, what's going to be the scale of the business. And if it turns out that this project goes forward, despite the lack of popular support for it, it would at least be, I think, reassuring to the community if you could press JK Equities to share with Pawtucket what are what's the work it's doing to make sure that that development has viable occupants, and what is it doing, in fact, as far as a more recent economic analysis that would demonstrate the overall long-term viability of such a project, given the change in economic conditions that we're all familiar with, like tariffs, for example, or potential downturn. And lastly, I just want to reiterate, if it's true that Morley Field is no longer needed and not targeted to be acquired by this development, then I hope you will do all you can as quickly as possible to give Woodlawn back its park. And I just want to also encourage you to also reach out to the state to see how we can help you to do that. And last thing I'll say is just an overall plug for more green space and more parks throughout Pawtucket. As I arrived here tonight, or my husband and I arrived here tonight, we were struck by the fact that there were approximately 10 children playing out in the parking lot where we park our cars to come to the meeting tonight. And it was just a case in point of how desperately needed green space and recreation space is in just about every neighborhood of Pawtucket. And please move forward as quickly as you can with Morley Field. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Representative. Mr. Harrison Tuttle from Belmont Road in Cranston. Mr. Tuttle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
So I was approached by the same community folks that were here time and time again, either outside City Hall, either here today that you're going to be listening to, as president of BLMRI PAC. And I was approached on the basis of a Black and brown low-income community whose only green space was Morley Field. And despite the city shenanigans, it was pretty apparent to me that this was a case of environmental racism. And that was a couple of years ago. I do not understand the fight that the city of Pawtucket is putting up to restrict people in their own community from using a public park that was federally granted to them. And there's going to be lawyers that will come up and they will talk about the official language. But the facts are that the community doesn't want it. And I know that as a human being, the natural reaction when you get the councilman of that district, when you get the state rep of that district or the ward and then the district come up and say that it's not favorable to their community, how would you like to feel if that was in your community and your constituents were saying, we don't want this? Say it. But on top of that, I mean, I think it's pretty embarrassing that people from outside of Pawtucket like myself, that you have a Providence City Councilor coming to tell you essentially to give back a field to their community. And so I don't know what the jobs are going to be. I don't like the attitude that JK Equities. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've reached out to JK Equities, how many times I've called City Hall, how many times I've left a voicemail asking for updates on Morley Field, and it just hasn't happened. It's almost like a running joke. It's one of the, it's, as an activist and a community organizer, Pawtucket is one of the worst cities in terms of being transparent to the public. And I think that there was a study done by Common Cause that backed it up. So I'm not just saying up here full of emotion. That's true. And that responsibility falls on the mayor, it falls on the city council, it falls on every elected official to hear the people here today who are calling to save Morley Field. So I asked the question, in conclusion, if the city of Pawtucket, given the fact that there are constituents here, that the ward representative of Morley Field is bringing up the concern whether or not we can expect an official response from the city as to if Morley Field is to be reopened and when, since JK Equities told us that they have no plans for the project. That's the compromise, is that we get our field back. Thank you.
Thank you. Bryce Dubois, is that right? Oh, is he online? Oh, it says on Zoom here. I thought you said there was nobody on Zoom.
See hands down at the time. I didn't know he was on.
Is he back though?
I see him now, yeah.
All right, then we're going to go to him afterwards. Well, you know what? Just in case we lose him, let's go to him now since we have him.
Mr. Dubois, can you hear us?
Yeah, hi all. Can you hear me?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you hear me?
We can now, yes.
Excellent. Thank you and good evening, council members. My name is Bryce Dubois, and I'm speaking today as a concerned citizen. So obviously, many of the things that have been mentioned here today about Morley Field and about the concerns of the larger development, you know, are things that I might have been likely to say. I do think a number of these facts need to be repeated. So I'm gonna say a few of the points and reiterate some of the points that have been made. So I'm calling on you as a city council to stop giving tax breaks, which is under your control, as Forrest mentioned, and allowing out-of-state developers such as Jerry and his son Jordan Carlick, aka JK Equities, to take parks and build polluting industries in Woodlawn. Jerry and Jordan Carlick make their money by extracting from the well-being of neighborhoods such as Woodlawn. These developers prey on communities where they can make the most money while doing the least amount of work, all while feeling entitled to taxes that are owed to residents. Their opportunistic development strategy, which is what they call it, is built on this approach. And the microfiber site is a glaring example of this. Here, not only do they feel entitled to pay as little taxes to Pawtucket as possible, but they also willfully allow 1 Meshastic Street to remain an open pit and have done so for 3 years. And they have been often cited for not properly maintaining their polluting work site. And we have record of that in emails from DEM. After 3 years, what are you as a city council and the larger community left with but an open pit and a closed park, the only, again, green space in the Woodlawn neighborhood? And for this, as city council, you have continued to give away thousands of dollars in tax money to these individuals, Jerry and Jordan Carlick. Since December, we strongly believe that you had the opportunity to respond to the tax stabilization agreement, and yet did not do so and allowed Jerry and Jordan Carlick to continue to not pay taxes that are owed to you, and also a fact that the Pawtucket administration has failed to enforce. You are entitled to these taxes, not the developers. The children of Pawtucket are entitled to their park and not the developers. And everyone is entitled to development that is good for the people of Pawtucket. And not one, as many folks have mentioned, that put dozens of dirty trucks that will tear through the neighborhood across the street for the more than 400 students who will start the newly renovated Segway Institute. This is, again, less than half a mile away from Providence, which is planning, as mentioned, North Main Street development for pedestrians, which includes greater green space. And yet the same care for people and their needs is not happening here at Woodlawn. And as folks have mentioned, it's egregious and it's unbelievable that this continues. And so even if you as a city council aren't ready to say it out loud, I just want to say some of the words for you and see if you can say it internally to yourselves. So to say, 1, I deserve better. 2, I and we are entitled to community-centered development. 3, I won't allow communities like Woodlawn to be sacrifice zones so that out-of-state developers can get rich. And 4, and finally, I will stand up for my community and the community of Woodlawn and will refuse any future tax stabilization agreement with Jerry and Jordan Carlick, aka JQ Equities, and I will open Morley Field. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next is Monica Texera D'Souza from Broad Street in Cranston. Did I get that right?
So much. I'm a professor at Roger Williams University School of Law, but I'm also a former resident of the Woodlawn neighborhood. And I'm here tonight to add my voice to that of the current residents to ask the city council to find a way to not only open the park, the field, but to keep it open for future generations. As a child in the 80s, I lived in the Woodlawn community, and I was part of a tight-knit Cape Verdean community, and I have so many fond memories from that time. But I have to tell you, there were very few places to play in this community. Those of you familiar with St. Anthony's Church, that parking lot was one of my play areas. Not ideal, but that's what we did. The data that I can share with you shows that people who have more access to green environments, such as parks and trails, tend to walk and be more physically active than those with limited access. This information is directly from the CDC's website. In another study, this was a systematic review that was published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health. The authors concluded that evidence consistently suggests a beneficial association between green space exposure and children's emotional and behavioral difficulties, particularly with hyperactivity and inattention problems. So there are school consequences as well. In yet another study, this was in the Journal of Mental Health Policy and Economics, mental health was found to be significantly related to residential distance from parks. They found that a nearby urban park is associated with the same mental health benefits as decreasing local unemployment rates by 2 percentage points. Morley Field is a community resource for the Woodlawn residents, for all the children who live here right now, but also for future generations of children. It is irreplaceable. Once the park is gone, it's gone forever. I understand that you have a difficult job. I really do. You have to weigh the pros and cons of bringing development to the city. But I have to caution you against placing so much faith in a single entity. Many of us in this room who were here in the 80s and 90s can tell you about all the places our parents used to work, whether it was Monet or Schoolhouse Candy or Hope Webbing. These are all factories that shut their doors. They left. They no longer provide benefits to the residents of this community, but a park, a public good, if it's stewarded well, that can be with us and with future generations long after we're gone. You know, in Pawtucket, there are so many places where we walk past and we say, this used to be here. Memorial Hospital, right? Pawtucket. Don't let this be another of those spaces. I really hope you'll use your power, and you do have power to do what you can to keep this park open. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Mr. H. Philip West Jr. from Unity Street in Pawtucket. Mr. West, how are you?
My name is.
Is that what you sent to me Okay.
Lem- My name is H. Philip West Jr. I live on Unity Street. And I want to speak tonight briefly to the question of what's going to happen to Morley Field, but especially to the JK. You've got my written testimony, but I want to say a few different things on the basis of what's been said today. I'm disappointed that Mr. Carlick and his council have decided to leave. They should have stayed to listen to what people are saying. They should have offered to say, let us go ahead and let us invest in fixing up Morley Field. They didn't say that. They could have very quickly diffused the energy that's in this room tonight. Let me just say what my part in this has been. When we moved to Pawtucket in 2017, I walked around lots of neighborhoods and I saw this microfibers factory being torn down. When it was down, I started taking pictures. I've just shared with you pictures I took on Monday. Now, the council with Mr. Carlick said, we have no violations. Guess what? Just look at those pictures. The dust was pouring up from this equipment there. I tell you, there was no one there streaming water on any of that on Monday morning when I was there, and those are the pictures. I was there on Tuesday, and they had water trucks because I don't know, don't want to say because, but I had sent Mr. Carlick and his brother or his son, whichever he is, I'd sent them these pictures. And I said, this is outrageous that there's no water being sprayed to stop this toxic dust from going out into the community. You can see it in those pictures. On Tuesday, they did better. Now, it's interesting, council said to you that there are no violations. I looked at the sign that DEM had posted that said, here's who to call, here's who to contact. I sent pictures to them of piles of soil that was uncovered. I sent pictures to them of, and I've sent them to you as well. I've given you the online galleries where you can see these pictures that I sent them in 2014. I'm 82 years old. I'm the one that they're talking about trespassing on the site because I went through the fence, because it was open and it was easy. I could go in. I could go in and I could see everything. And I remembered how when I was a kid, I loved to explore. And sometimes they would say, this place is forbidden. But I went anyway. And most kids do. And you can see that kids have been in there climbing on those broken piles of concrete and finding their way through the twisted rebar and the pools of fetid water, which is there. It's all there for you to see. It's in the pictures that I have posted. And then they come and they say there are no violations. This is awful. And it's awful for the community. And you as a city council, just because it's in Councilman Gregor's district and Representative Stewart's district, you are still responsible for the whole city. And that's what we're talking about here. I want to end by reminding us how environmental hazards destroy communities. We look at the national news about places in Louisiana that are called Cancer Alley because government officials have allowed great things to be built up that process oil. We look at other places like Flint, Michigan, where government made decisions to use water from the river without properly dealing with questions of lead in the pipes, and thousands of children were lead poisoned. That's what you call environmental injustice, and it's happening in Woodlawn now. We have the most densely populated, mostly minority community. There are no baffles to screen people against what's coming from the pollutions that are coming from I-95 that was carved through Woodlawn way back when they were doing those kind of things. You have the power now to do something better. I don't know what's going to happen with this JK Industries process. I would love to see us open Morley Field again and take that land and use it to build housing. We need workforce housing, we need affordable housing, and it could be built on that site. I think you should not give any, you said earlier, Mr. President, that the tax stabilization agreement is not on the agenda tonight. I'm here because I saw Councilman Gregor's letter and because that's the subject of the letter, and I affirm what's in the letter. But it would be
I
absurd.
should wrap it up. It's almost 6 minutes and it's not fair.
No, that's
I am having some respect.
Right.
I have always offered as much respect as possible to Mr. West.
And I'm not.
I think he would agree with that. I'm just asking, it's not as fair to the rest of the folks who have tried to keep it under. We are now over 6 minutes. I'm not stopping you. I'm just asking if you can wrap it up.
I'm going to wrap it up. But I really want to say to you, it is within your power as a council to provide justice. I'm not making that up. It is within your power to insist that if anything goes forward, it not be a tax stabilization agreement, but it be the company coming in to help to fund the rehabilitation and the opening of Morley Field. You have it within your power. I asked you to investigate. They said there were no violations. I asked you to investigate. I would be glad to show you lots more pictures. This is a travesty. I've been involved in urban renewal in New York City, and I've never seen anything like this. We can do better, and I hope you will.
Thank you, Mr. West. Miss Christine Bento. Miss Bento, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Who asked?
I did.
Hi, Mr. Mercer. So first, I'd like to start off with saying that for those of you who know that I've been coming to these meetings for decades, you know that I would stand for any one of you, even when I disagree with what you do in this room. I do not allow my officials to be disrespected by anybody because I have respect for you guys. I might not always agree, but I have respect, and I think you guys all know that. With that, I'm going to say for most of the people that are familiar, that's been following this from day one, you would remember the attitudes that were given to Clovis by, what was her name? The first lady, the lady that worked for a city that came with the attitude, Bianca. Every time Clovis spoke, there was an eye rolling, there was an attitude coming from her. So what I have noticed since day one, I know that those of you who have been on the council for many years, you're not used to someone with so much passion. And that's what Clovis comes with. Not only does he have the passion to stand for something in the community, he has the ability to get the room full of people. It's happened several times. It's happened several times. And for some reason, I kind of sense that makes some of you uncomfortable. But for the new people that are on board, I know that there's nothing been in your district that you've been really passionate about. I've never really seen so many people come out for anything. But it does happen. Across Rhode Island, it happens in city council, where the community comes out. You guys need to be a little bit more respectful of that. And I understand that's not on your agenda, but many people have said this, and I'm going to say it my way. Pawtucket administration is known to do things behind closed doors. So when you put something on the agenda that gets some of these people's attention, they're going to come down. They're taking time out of their day, time out of their family to come down and address it. Whether it's something you want to hear or not, it matters. They have something to say, and they want to come down in support of Clovis. And I'm going to say, as a Cape Verdean community leader, a strong Cape Verdean community leader, I will say that about myself. I hate to see this man continuously disrespected. The two people that were standing up here earlier, I won't even call them by name. Businessmen and women over here disrespecting our council, and then when I call them out, I get shut down. No. Show him the same respect. They wouldn't talk to you like that. They have no business addressing him like that. You think we want those kind of people in our neighborhoods? So this is why all these people are here today. And I'm so proud to see people from outside of Pawtucket coming down here to stand with us. Because at the end of the day, what you guys are going to understand, you might not admit it, but I'm going to say it because I'm usually the one up here trying to speak for the community. due to some type of retaliation sometimes from the city administration, some people don't like to come down here. But when Clovis is speaking passionately about something, he's speaking on behalf of the community. I can tell you, as the longest standing Cape Verdean community leader in this city, he's speaking on behalf of all of our Cape Verdean children that need that Morley Field open. So he's not going to be shut down, not in my presence. You know, and I'd like to say one more thing too, that I've taken note. I haven't come to the city council in a minute. I've been busy over the school committee, as the chairman said, they're a hot mess over there. I will point out one thing though. Not only is the disrespect not going to be accepted here, there's something I've been noticing as a trend coming from the administration also. When we have delegates coming over from the Cape Verde Islands, we have a city councilman who's a Cape Verdean sitting right there, and I don't see him in the pictures, and I don't see him invited to any of these things. I'm going to start calling out those Cape Verdeans that the mayor's hiring as the Cape Verdean sellouts that don't invite him. I'm no longer going to tolerate that. So not only do I stand up for a Cape Verdean against anybody else who's disrespecting him, I'll call out a Cape Verdean too.
Thank you, Ms. Bento. Susan Bailey from Unity Street. Ms. Bailey, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. This has been very interesting. I'm going to be short. You'll be glad to hear. I live at 8 Unity Street. I've lived in Pawtucket for 8 years. I've lived in Rhode Island for 50 years. I grew up in Los Angeles, and that was quite a different environment. Today, I spent a few hours with a group of over 100 seniors who were celebrating the power of coming together in a spirit of hope and helping each other to make our state and our lives better together. This evening, I'm deeply disappointed in the actions of the Pawtucket government in allowing the degradation of our environment and service to our citizens, especially to our children. I've been following the Morley Field story for a few years. And what I've heard tonight just seems even more tragic than I realized. So I ask you, what is the better path to follow? I also want to relay a brief statement from, some of you may know Lisa Bede. She has lived in Pawtucket for decades, and she said, I want to say that you know the arguments. It's a simple choice you have to act morally. And to represent the people of Pawtucket, to act immorally and further the vested interests that the mayor serves. Your vote to deny or support these interests will go a long way in showing your true values. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next individual is Sasha Gesmer from Bloomfield Street. Don't rush.
Take my time.
Sasha, welcome.
Hi. I did not realize when I was writing on that paper that I would be up here, but I'm very pleased that I did sign up. I agree with everything. Well, first, I should introduce myself. Everyone else has. I'm Sasha. I live in the Darlington neighborhood, so on the other side of the city. I'm a psychotherapist, and I work from home, so I'm always looking at my neighborhood. Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that's been coming up tonight, right? I feel the energy in the room. It's really intense. I know you all feel it. Um, I think this whole thing is insane, both on a community level, an economic level, an environmental level, a mental health level. But the way that I go about things is trying to bring some sort of understanding and respect. What was coming up for me as I was listening, I was talking to a client today about the rainbow fish. Do y'all remember the rainbow fish? Did you read that to your kids? Does anyone in the room remember the rainbow fish? Okay. Can I tell you really quickly the story of the rainbow fish? Does it vibe? Does it vibe, y'all? Okay, it vibes. Okay. So this is one of my favorite books growing up. It's about this fish, and he's got all these beautiful scales, and they all glimmer and they glitter. Yeah, yeah, you're remembering. And one little kind of dull fish with no special anything comes and says, "Can I please have a scale?" And he says, "No, screw off." And then that little fish goes back to the community and it says, "Hey, everybody, the rainbow fish told me I couldn't share. I couldn't be part of this." And the entire community turns its back on the rainbow fish. Blah, 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 goes to his only lasting friend and says, "How do I get my friends back?" And the answer is, I had forgotten this, so I had to like reread it today, right? Like I had to like go to Wikipedia and be like, wait, because we all get different stories and lessons from this same story. But basically, the rainbow fish ends up sharing each of his little guys, his little scales, to everyone. And the community welcomes him back with open arms. So that's what's been resonating for me as I've been listening to what's been going on tonight. I'm trying to come at this right with curiosity. I'm new here. I'm wondering what it is that's stopping things. I'm curious if there's fear. But I hope that the folks in this room want to work together if there's a solution that can be found. I have a lot of strong words I could say. They've all been said. I really want to. I'm not going to. But yeah, that's where I'm coming from. So thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. The last individual signed up is Emma Blankstein. Is that from Waterman Street? Was that?
Yes. Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Emma Blankstein, and I am a part of Sunrise Brown, a group dedicated to fighting for environmental justice in Rhode Island. And this is clear, plain, and simple an issue of environmental injustice. Morley Field belongs to the people, and it was made using funding from the Land and Water Conservation Fund from the National Park Service. This requires that Morley Field should be, quote, reasonably open, accessible, and safe for public use. The city of Pawtucket has failed to do this. JK Equities might stand before you and claim that this has nothing to do with Morley Field, but that is not true. The pollution that they have generated from this project makes Morley Field unsafe and unusable. The air, water, and soil pollution created by this project do not remain in one place, only on the lot of 1 Moshik Street. They impact the entire community. They claim that there is no, quote, violations that have happened, but the community knows what they are seeing. They have been telling you what they are seeing. They have been telling you for the past 3 years that they want Morley Field open, that they want Morley Field to be a safe, accessible green space for everyone in the community. It is about time to listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Blankstein. Okay, we are going to move on now to the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. The clerk will call the roll. Mr. Dobos.
We were at City Hall waiting for you guys to be there, but we found out you're over here. So we didn't have time to come in and sign it.
Okay, how many is we?
Me and my next door neighbor.
Okay. Do you want to come up together? Is it a? Okay, so I understand some people have made that same mistake. I know you participate frequently, so if you both want to come up, Mr. Stanley Dobos from Rose
Chestnut Street, 11
Chestnut, and I'm sorry, sir.
John Hanna from Chestnut.
John
Street.
Hanna, like the
Yes.
football player?
Yeah.
From Chestnut, you're both from Chestnut, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
We're here because of the festival pier. The noise over there is just unacceptable. My house is probably a good 2 football fields away, and my windows and walls shake from the music. There's a lot of kids on our street. That's not acceptable. It's really not. It's
The base.
Mr. Duos, can you speak in the
The
mic?
base shatters my windows. They shake. I got a couple of sick kids in my house. They got to go to bed early. These people play until 11, 12 o'clock at night. I got a scanner, so I listen, and I found out that place didn't close till after midnight. Because I heard the cops say we're closed. Everybody's gone.
Which the festival pier?
Festival
Okay.
Pier. The last festival they
last
had
Saturday, yes.
this past weekend. I think you might have got a phone call from me. Michael, you did.
Yes.
Nisi, you did. So I just want to know, we got to stop that. You guys made a plan from 8:30. Everything shut off. 9 o'clock, get the hell out of there. And that's what we're looking for. And I got a whole street and I got a whole block of people that can come down here and do what these people from Morley Field have done. But I don't want to do that. I've been doing this. I've been in my house for 27 years. 27 years. And that neighborhood is just going down the freaking drain. You know?
Understood. I'm glad you asked to come up and speak. We don't generally engage during this format.
Yes,
but
I understand.
I know you have Councilor Codier's name, you have a number, you have my number.
Yeah.
And Councilor Rougeau's number. We've talked about how to fix this. So we will be in touch as soon as we can. Reach out to me, Mr. Hanna, if you'd like to. Stanley has my number. You can reach out to me. Okay.
Okay.
And we will do what we can.
Well, like I say, it's just not right, you know? It used to be a beautiful neighborhood. You've got Memorial Hospital that's falling down, the homeless people in the woods. And then we get
Understood.
these bands that play till midnight, you know?
Understood.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We are on to the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I will call the meeting to order and the clerk will call the roll.
Announce the people who.
Oh, I thought I did. Before we convene, individually?
Yeah, just.
Okay, so there was written public input accepted today from To Share a Battle, from Roots to Empower, Adam Greenman from Pawtucket, Kate McPherson from Save the Bay, Kate Sales, the Director of Rhode Island Land Trust Council, Diana Mayer, 15 Trenton Street in Pawtucket, Jennifer Magaw from Pawtucket, Harrison Tuttle says from Pawtucket, Dana Goodman from Pawtucket, Alex Denisovich from East Greenwich, Shayna Klinger from Glenwood Avenue, Separate State Representative Sherry Cruz, and Hope Dubois. Was Hope Dubois one of the ones in person too? Gotcha. Okay. It was Bryce Dubois. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Those are entered into the record just as the verbal public comment was. In that case, now I will call the order of the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. The clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Here.
Council Rougeau.
Here.
Council Codere.
Here.
Council Gregor. Council Moran.
Here.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio. Council Kubiak.
Here.
Council Wildenhain.
Here.
8 in attendance.
Mr. President, item number 1, I call for approval of the previous minutes from July 23rd, 2025.
The moved by Council Rougeau, second by Council Wildenhain, that we give approval to the Minutes of the July 23rd, 2025 meeting as prepared by the clerk. Are there any amendments, discussions, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I call for approval of item number 2, the consent agenda, and item number 3, petition for licenses, starting with entertainment, a petition from Centerville Bank Stadium at Tidewater Landing for a food truck festival, and ending at a waste hauler renewals with Republic Services of Fall River.
Been moved by Councilor Arujo, second by Councilor Moreno, that approval given to items 2 and 3 to consent agenda and petitions for license. The petitions start with an entertainment petition of Centerville Bank Stadium, down through waste hauler renewal for Republic Services of Fall River. Any items or matters on item 2 or 3 the board wishes to address? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Can I just interrupt you?
Yes.
If there's anybody here from New England Gold and Silver, Off the Hook, or any of the waste haulers looking for renewals, they have all been taken care of. Now, you don't have to stay here any longer if you're already here. Otherwise, you're probably on one of the next items. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Counselor.
Oh, good. Okay. Item number 4, as advertised for a public hearing, Victorine House, first class, open 24 hours new, Seasons Corner Market, Cobia Enterprises LLC, 71 Cedar Street, license number VIC-25-16. My motion is to convene the public hearing.
It's been moved by Councilor Arujo, second by Councilor Stakoviak, that a public hearing be convened regarding a request for a Victorine House first class open 24 hours new license for Seasons Corner Market, Cobea Enterprises LLC, 71 Cedar Street. It's license number VIC-25-16. The motion is to convene the public hearing. I declare the public hearing open. Is it 4 or 5? District 4? Okay, so we've got our district councilor back. Is the applicant here from Seasons Corner Market? How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you. Are
James
you,
Hall from Cobia Enterprises.
okay,
which is
are you
Seasons Corner Market.
an attorney representing them, or are you?
I'm in-house counsel, so
Okay.
both.
Could you just give your name and your office address to the clerk?
It's James Hall, Hall, and my address is 695 George Washington Highway, Lincoln, Rhode Island.
Okay, Mr. Hall. This is the old Shell station right across from Burger King on the corner of Cedar and don't even know what that street is anymore. But that's the one we're talking about, right?
That's the one you're talking about.
Okay, and it's currently under construction, but moving along pretty rapidly.
Moving
Yes.
along pretty rapidly. Will be done in about 6 weeks, open in 8.
Gotcha.
It's kind of
So I'm going to turn this over. It's in Councilor Codia's district. And she may have a few questions for you. Other board members that may as well.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Season Corner Market, is this a convenience store or a supermarket?
It's a convenience store.
Convenience store? Would you be selling I know the convenience stores like chips and food like that, but you be also selling tobacco and stuff.
There's
And you
both
have
convenience store
that
offerings.
also.
Yep. But in
Okay.
terms of the Vic license, we also would be selling fresh food, open cooler items such as fruit sandwiches and things like that between the hour, because it would be a 24-hour operation. So we need the Vic license to be able to sell those items during that period of time.
That was gonna be my next question. 24 hours operation? And when you will be ready to open?
Hopefully, October 6th that's what we're shooting for.
Okay.
I had one quick question first, Mr. Councilor Rujo. Gas pumps still too? Yes? Gas pumps or just the convenience store?
Oh, gas pumps as well.
I
Correct.
thought so. I did, but it didn't come up. So,
yeah,
Councilor.
Right. So these are going to be like, most of the ones that we see out there of the Seasons Corner Market, correct? We see them
Correct.
Multiple locations, correct?
Correct.
So you might have some hot, hot dogs or whatever they have in that little, and some prepared sandwiches, stuff like that you'll be selling, correct?
Correct.
All right, good. And that's always been, the Bentos had that for many, many years, and then we had East Side owned it for a bit, but it's a good location, and I've seen a lot of the Seasons Corner markets that I've visited are very clean, so hopefully, this gets approved, this will take on that sort of persona as well. Nice, clean, and
Guaranteed.
brightly lit. All right, thank you.
Guaranteed.
It looks like it may be a little bit smaller than some of your other stores. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's a little smaller. We do have a number of locations that are probably that footprint, but smaller than the ones you've probably seen in Rhode Island and Southern
And
Mass.
then any other things that you prepared, like pizza? I know sometimes that's one of the things, or
We don't. No.
Okay.
I mean, I understand that a lot of convenience stores do have the pizza available. We don't usually do that.
so I'll echo Councilor Arujo's observation that every Seasons store that I've seen has been a good addition. It looks like, to the community it's in. Seems to be well run, well maintained, clean. So,
And this will
I
be
know-
no different. Guaranteed.
that is good to hear. Councilor Wilden, do you have your hand up?
Yes. One question. I think you're just next to the FOP lodge there.
Yeah, two doors down.
Yeah, two doors. Is there another house in between your place and that?
There is.
Yes,
Okay.
There's actually two lots in between, an empty lot and a house.
All right, yes. The only thing that I've noticed with businesses of your size that go up there, sometimes the neighbors have a problem with lighting, so that your lighting's turned in and not, lighting up the whole place.
Correct.
I just want to make you aware of that, and so that you won't have any issues with your
Yeah,
neighbors.
all of our locations, or all of our new locations, are built with dark sky lighting criteria. So we provide a map when we went to planning to show that the light escape off of the site is completely contained.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
May I echo? I want to thank you for bringing that up, because I talked about well lit, but yeah, you're right, because of the neighborhood, right? So thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate you bringing that up.
I just didn't know if there were any neighbors next to. I knew the FOP was there, but I wasn't sure. if any-
Yeah, it's where the McCahys used to live.
Yeah,
McCahey
exactly.
Standard.
Yep, right over there.
But anyway, anybody else have any questions, Councilor? Good there.
No, I've also have visited many of the Seasons Corner markets. I just forgot the part about the gas. That they also pump gas.
Yes.
I just I really don't have any questions, because all the Seasons markets, like Councilor Ruger says, it always run perfectly well, and it's always everything in order. And all we really care about is that all your stuff are in order, and maintain the area clean. And
like I said,
Yeah.
this will be no different than any other Seasons Corner market. We're actually excited to do this one. We've owned that location we're a family owned business, but
Mhm.
the family's owned that location for many years and wanted to sort of reinvest in the area. And with the current reinvestment happening in Pawtucket, we thought it was the right time to do it.
other than that, I don't have any more questions, Mr. President.
Okay, so this has been advertised as a public hearing. I'm going to allow you to take your seat for a moment and ask, is there anyone in attendance who is here for this public hearing to speak on this application? I see none. Is there anyone online? Oh, I'm sorry.
Right there.
Ma'am, if you'd like to come forward. I couldn't see you behind the podium, I guess. If you could just give your name and address to the clerk, please.
Hi, Peggy Martinez, 14 Albany Street, North Providence, Rhode Island.
Albany?
Albany,
14
Albany
Albany.
Street. North Providence, Rhode Island.
You're all set.
Hi, how are you? Good
Good,
evening.
thank you.
I'm here representing the convite. Oh, it's the next one, sorry.
Oh, are you, hang on just one second. Are you here for Convite Guatemala?
Yes.
You're
Oh,
next.
Then you're next.
Oh, okay. All right.
But we have your info now.
Okay.
I was just gonna
Is there
say
anyone
no.
online here for this particular matter?
If you are currently waiting online to speak in this public hearing, can you please press the raise hand button at this time? I see no hands.
Okay, in that case, I am going to declare the public hearing closed, and I will entertain a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion to approve Seasons Corner Market license, virtually house first class, open 24 hours, 71 Cedar Street, Pawtucket.
Second.
Moved by Council Codere, second by Council Ruzo, that approval be given to the Victualling House First Class new open 24 hours application of Seasons Corner Market at 71 Cedar Street. It would be license number VIC-25-16. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You're all set. Good luck.
Good luck. You're welcome. Item number 5, petition for license entertainment and Class F beer and wine. Petition of Convite, Guatemala, USA, Rhode Island, for a license to have a Guatemalan festival and to sell beer and wine and food at PRA parking lot, 354 Pine Street on Sunday, September 21st, 2025, from 12 p.m. until 9 p.m. The rain date is September 28th, 2025. License number is EBT-25-59. Motion to take this license up.
It's been moved by Council Ruzo, second by Council Stacoviac, that we take up a petition for license for an entertainment and Class F beer and wine, a petition of Convite Guatemala USA RI for a license of a Guatemalan festival and to sell beer and wine and food at the PRA parking lot at 354 Pine Street on Sunday, September 21st, from noon until 9 p.m. with a rain date of the following week, September 28th, 2025. It will be license number EBT-25-59. We do know that the applicant is here. Ma'am, if you can up now. Was it Ms. Martinez?
Yeah.
Okay, so you already took care of the hard part, Ms. Martinez.
Good evening again.
You're asking for a beer and wine for the PRA Park for a one-day festival. It's in Councilor Stacoviac's district, so I'm going to turn it over to her.
Hi, Peggy. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
So we did obviously have a conversation already. So my colleagues are aware this is the second year of this festival.
Correct.
And then also, Peggy, let them know you are involved in that area. You are involved in 327 Pine Street.
Yes, I'm one of the admins for 327, and I also work in the community. If it's a plus, I do work for a Blackstone Valley Community Healthcare, so I know a lot of the community members there. I'm one of the community health workers.
And then, so just go over your security. You're going to have 40 security people.
So we're going to have 20
okay.
in total, beginning at 11.
Yep.
And then ending shift would be also around 10, just to make sure everybody is out directing traffic, in between barricades and anything that happens, just to be in assistance with our community officers.
Yep. And then last year you had 2 shifts of police detail.
Yes.
And EMT, all the things needed.
Yes, first aid there.
And I know we talked about, I kind of gave you a little bit of my feeling about the energy that's been going on with, you saw some public comments of a different location, but just the energy of keeping the areas cleaned up right away after the event's over. We talked about how last year you sent videos as you were cleaning up to the administration, so they knew hey, we're actively here doing this. You had over 100 volunteers, things
Yes,
like
we
that.
do.
So I just want to make my colleagues aware that we had a discussion about just sort of our hesitation lately with different festivals. This is obviously a very different location than Festival Pier, but just that you are aware that the city's more, we're just looking at it deeper. So,
Sure. And I'm aware that we did that last year as a courtesy because we wanted to leave the space even cleaner as it was given to us, just because you guys are lending this space to us, and we wanted it to be in good standing for this coming year for the community, the Wadham community that wanted to come back again.
Yep. And I just want to make sure that you're aware, just make sure the streets that were given permission to be closed are the only streets that are closed, that no additional streets are closed off that weren't given permission. Usually Continent is not given permission. So whatever they have given you permission to close, that no additional streets are blocked off.
I think I received a message before that they didn't give us permission to close. So, and then we were only going to close Lily Pond, which Lily Pond is in the back of the event. So really no one really is there. We just put porta potties there for the people and for the festival attendees.
And I know a recent festival you actually, that was in that location, you had some feedback on, so you know exactly what not to do because you had your own feedback to the city about what was happening at
Yeah.
that location.
Yes, we
Okay.
did.
Okay, I think that's all. I mean, we had in-depth discussion, so if anybody else has any questions.
Councilor Ruja.
Yes, I love the fact that you put an itinerary together. This is
Yeah.
really pretty cool. I like the schedule. So, we have from 8 to 9 is an international band from Guatemala. So the request for an extra hour, will that be without music? Is the music stopping at 9?
Request to be till 10 was denied because it's a Sunday. So we'll be done by 9.
You'll be done at 9. That's the big, as you can see, what somebody spoke in public, even though this is a different location. The music has become more and more challenging, in the neighborhoods. And so 9 o'clock, if you're comfortable, I'm comfortable with that. 10 o'clock would have been a little push because again, it's great to have, I love music. I know there's a bigger music fan than I, but it infringes on some of the neighbors sometimes because the volume does get pumped up.
We
a
do
bit.
understand and we want to respect the community for that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Is there anybody else? I'll just reiterate what Councilor Skoviak said. It sounds like she's comfortable with you having the agreement anyway, but the previous festival that was there, we have a letter from the police department to us, a few items down on the agenda. DPW and the police department were not happy with the way that went. Sounds like
Actually-
last year you made, took great pains to make sure that this year would be able to happen because last year was a success. So I think I can speak for all of us. We appreciate that. And if it goes off the same way, all the better.
Yeah, I just want to add, and so you guys are comfortable for the beer tent, we do have security in the main gateway with security bands, making sure that IDs are correct and the right ones. We're not accepting anything that's not government issued, so they know to bring in their passport or government issued ID, and if it's not, then they don't get a wristband and they go to a certain location. So we have all this set up. So just making sure that everyone is safe.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anybody else? This is not a public hearing, it's just a petition for license, so I will entertain a motion.
Yep. I will move to approve this entertainment and Class F license.
Moved by Councilor Stakoviak, second by Councilor Moreno, that approval be given to the petition of Convite Guatemala USA RI for a license to have a Guatemalan festival and to sell beer and wine and food in the PRA parking lot at 354 Pine Street on Sunday, September 21st from noon to 9 with an alternative rain date of the following week on September 28th. Presumably the same times. The license number would be EVT-25-59. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Have
a
fun.
good night.
Item number 6, a communication from Frank J. Milos, Esquire, City Solicitor, to Councilor Clovis Gregor, response to kennel license and ordinances. Motion to file.
It's been moved by Councilor Aruja, second by Councilor Gregor, that a communication from Frank J. Milos, Esquire, City Solicitor, to City Councilor Clovis Gregor regarding a response of the kennel license and ordinance. The motion is to file a communication.
Did you want me to
File and take up.
All right, so a motion to file and take up.
All in favor of filing and taking up the?
Aye. Aye.
Okay. So Council, this is sent to you. Do you want to take up the communication separately, or do you want to roll it into item 7? It's up to you.
Yeah, we can roll it up into item 7, but I'm not sure why it's addressed to me as a singular manner when it's.
It does come sometimes that way, and sometimes it's to me individually. But yes, we collectively voted to send the request. But kind of depends on how the clerk's office sends out the request for a response. But nonetheless, we all realize that we asked for the response. Everybody good with filing and rolling it into 7?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, item 7.
Item number 7, the following petition for license renewal was postponed at the meetings held March 19th, July 9th, and July 23rd, 2025, and is again taken up. Kennel renewal, Harmony Dog Training LLC, 65 Patterson Avenue, license number KNL 25-2.
Been moved by Council Ruzo, second by Council Gregor, that the following petition for a license renewal that was postponed at the meetings held March 19th, July 9th, and July 23rd is again taken up. It's a kennel license renewal. Harmony Dog Training LLC at 65 Patterson Avenue, license number KNL-25-21. The motion is to take up the petition for a renewal. Councilor Gregor.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank City Solicitor Frank Miles for sending the letter. However, I just wanted to point out, and I'm not sure why he addressed it to me singularly, and since it was the entire council, I mean, this just for purposes of clarification. Second, his letter doesn't seem fully clear on what the situation is. And also, I actually went up and looked at, because according to Carl Johnson, the zoning director, he suggested, well, because it said 80% industrial, that he just checked off the box. However, when I look at the plot, it's nowhere near 80%. It's 50-50 at the very least. So I'm not sure why it was suggested it was 80% industrial, because I don't believe that that's the case. So I think we need to have some meeting with both the zoning director and Frank Miles and try to figure out how we're going to resolve this issue, because it's unclear and on both ends, from the zoning and from the legal perspective. And, but finally, I mean, my concern is for the residents who own their property over there. They have just as much as rights as one commercial person doing a kennel there. So I think I'm going to ask that we postpone this and try to have a meeting scheduled with both the zoning director and Frank Miles, try to figure out how we're going to resolve this matter. And Mr. Rosado, since I think he's here, he would get proper notice if we decide to move forward regarding. He's not? Okay. Well, but he should get notice for the continuance, and if we, depending where that goes, he's entitled to a hearing, to be at least. But the residents are entitled as well.
I'm kind of at a loss. I think the letter was sufficient. I don't know that, and I'm just, hear me out, I don't know that, written diagrams of, whether it's 50-50, the discussion of use tables essentially are a zoning trump card. They're the top dog. So we could postpone it one more time, but I think it would be best if you and the solicitor and the zoning, Carl Johnson, maybe try to get together before that time so you can all get on the same page. I would suggest sooner than later, rather than rehashing this before the entire Board of License Commissioners. Alternatively, do we know who's the chair of animal control? I don't know that animal control really has.
I see it more as I see it more as a zoning issue than an animal control issue. The license was granted, and if there's a problem with the way it was granted and stuff, I think it's the directors and the solicitor would make the determination whether or not we open ourselves up to anything. So I'd feel more comfortable if the district councilor met with the solicitor and the director of zoning and hash this out.
Yeah, so
That's my opinion.
that seems to be the best way to handle this, because if we wait 2 weeks and then 2 weeks and then 2 weeks and we come in, we don't have the best way to handle this is how I would handle it if it were my district. I would sit down with those two individuals once or 10 times between now and the next meeting, especially since the next meeting is a noontime meeting. It's, currently he is still operating, right? So he's not prejudiced by the fact that we have not renewed it. Would it make sense to amend your motion to continue it until the first meeting of September, which is a full meeting as opposed to noontime? And that would give you and zoning and the solicitor's office ample time to craft a path forward. Does that work for you?
That works fine with me. 'Cause
Okay.
I would really like an explanation of how the 80% comes into play here, because it doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Okay, and again, it's much easier sitting in a conference room to get to the bottom of it than when we've got, 10 other agenda items. So, you're comfortable with that being articulated as the motion. So, and the motion itself doesn't need to come with, you'll have a meeting. That's for you to put together. And if you feel the need that, somebody else from council leadership join you, you can certainly
Yeah,
ask.
like you.
Okay. Okay. If I can, I will. Okay. In that case, then the motion is to continue this renewal matter to the first meeting of September. And by that time, by the time that the clerk is putting together the docket, we will determine whether or not the applicant needs to be notified. In all likelihood, he would be, but if is that
That works.
adequate? Okay, that motion is seconded by Councilor Russo. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. All right. The next item is
Could I-
number.
Actually, I'm sorry. Could we also continue, just repost the solicitors? Never mind. Never mind.
No, I think.
Go on.
Okay,
We're
good.
good.
All right. Item number 8 is a communication from Ben Skuka, Senior Operations Technician Trainer, Public Works Department, to Michelle Hardy, Deputy City Clerk, regarding the recent use of city and PRA property by Adelino Lopes. Motion is to file and take up.
Then moved by Councilor Russo, second by Councilor Stakoviak, that a communication from Ben Skirker, the Senior Operations Technician Trainer for the Public Works Department, to Michelle Hardy, Deputy City Clerk, regarding a recent use of the city and PRA property by Adelino Lopes. The motion is to file a communication and take up. All in favor of filing?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilor Stakoviak, anything on your part?
No, I mean, disappointing. And I think we've had many conversations with him with different festivals and events at different locations. And we'll just see what else he applies for, but this is definitely was disappointing to see.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councilor Russo?
Yeah, I just think we need to, as a board, kind of tighten up what we're doing. We've gotten a lot of complaints lately. I've mentioned about the music before, and now arbitrarily shutting down a street. We just, I think, we got some work to do. I think the next coming fall and winter, as the next season of outdoor events start to take place. I feel like since I've been on the council, this has been the most calls I've been getting on events like this, and this just highlights that fact. So
Yes. So, I'll just say that we hope that each license applicant, especially one-day license applicants, understands it's a privilege. It's not a right. Unfortunately, some individuals seem to think it's their given right to intrude on a neighborhood and do as they please, even with their own establishment, right? Councilor Gregor, you had some concerns over things in your district too at this individual's establishment. So, yeah, I guess we just have to keep it in mind.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
thank you. Item 9.
Item number 9 is a petition for license entertainment in Class F1 full privilege, a petition of St. Mary's Antiochian Church, Orthodox Church, for a license to conduct a feast day weekend and to sell alcoholic beverages outdoors at 60 St. Mary Way on Saturday, August 16th, 2025, from 10 p.m. a.m. until 11 p.m. and Sunday, August 17th, 2025, from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. That license number is EVT 25-62. Motion to take up.
Church for a license to conduct a feast day weekend and sell alcoholic beverages outdoors at 60 St. Mary Way on Saturday, August 16th, 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. and Saturday, Sunday, August 17th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. License number EBT-5-6. Discussion, Sylvia, good?
Yep.
Motion to approve.
Yes, a motion to approve.
Moved by Counselor, Counselor Moreno. Approve, give that, staff one full privilege. Discussion. Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I move we adjourn and reconvene as the Pawtucket City Council.
And there's what you thought about it. Councilor Moreno. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, for liberty and justice for all. Pawtucket City Council will come to order. Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Here.
Councilor Ruzo,
Here.
Council Codere,
Here.
Council Gregor,
Here.
Council Moran,
Here.
Council Moreno, Council Rubio, Council Stacoviac, Council Wildenhain. 8 in attendance.
Item number 1, I call for approval of the previous minutes from July 23rd, 2025 of the City Council.
It's been moved by Council Ruzo, second by Council Codere, that approval be given to the minutes of the City Council meeting from the July 23rd, 2025 as prepared by the clerk. Are there any concerns, amendments, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I call for approval of item number 2, the consent agenda and correspondence.
Been
Second.
moved by Councilor Arujo, second by both Council Moreno and Council Moran, that approval be given to item 2, the consent agenda and correspondence. Are there any items on 2 that the members wish to speak on? Okay, I'll listen. Councilor Wildenhain. Councilor Stacoviac. Councilor Gregor. F and G. F and G.
And J.
Anybody on this side?
B.
B. We've got a whole host today. Okay, all in favor of approval?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, we'll go alphabetically. Councilor Stacoviac, item A.
I actually just had a question. One of the public comment speakers had mentioned that RIPTA is doing the meeting tomorrow, and I just wanted to know if a representative from the administration would be attending that meeting to also give comment or to just represent the will of the city.
They were at the public meeting at the library the other day.
Okay, but not to the RIPTA vote tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's tomorrow. I think somebody mentioned that in public comment. I
Somebody
think
did.
it was.
It was actually the very first speaker.
Yeah.
Mentioned that tomorrow the RIPTA board would be potentially voting on their proposed cuts.
Are any of the state reps attending?
I don't know, but it could be that. Okay, it may be that they don't take public comment at that time, or they could be. I don't know.
During ours. Okay. Okay, that was just my question. I wanted to see if we were going to be represented there at all.
So
So
while we're on this item, somebody else mentioned, why just Route 71? Get why, because of the intensive infrastructure improvements in the TOD.
Yeah.
Right, but
77.
I'm gonna seek an amendment to the resolution we're going to address later on to include all of the proposed cuts in Pawtucket. It's by the council and the administrator and the mayor. Would the mayor have any problem with that? Okay, thank you.
Great idea.
Okay,
That was it.
B, Council Rujo.
Yes, I just want to take a moment to thank the chief for putting together the time that the school cameras are operational. We get those questions all the time. I think this is information that should be out there to the public as they're driving by the school zones. It's not an invitation to speed on those streets after those times, okay? That's for sure. But it's good to let them know, let the public know what time those cameras are operational. I think this has been needed for a while, so I'm glad to see that it's going to be implemented.
Thank you, Counselor.
I just wanted to add it. Does it also say when like school is out, vacation time?
No, it just says, excuse me, Counselor, it says, school days 7 to 6. Those are what the new signs are gonna be.
Right.
It's like.
So it does
just
say
gonna be-
school days. So,
School days,
you know,
okay.
school vacation week, Saturdays, Sundays, all summer.
Right.
It's understood that they're not operational. And that's actually in compliance with state law that they can't be operational if it's a school zone camera. Does that complete that topic?
Good.
Okay, Counselor Windelhane.
Yeah, 1 second, Counselor. That's what we posted now. Yes,
This is,
President.
this is communication. Yeah, go ahead.
They should have owned it.
Can I ask that the assistant treasurer come up? She's out in the audience right now. She has some pertinent information that I think the rest of the council would appreciate having. So I just
Okay.
asked that Ashley, come on up.
Assistant Treasurer, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thing.
Thank you for allowing me to come up and speak.
Thanks for answering Counselor's questions.
Of course. So I originally came here today just to be present in case there was any questions about the write-offs. However, looking at the docket and reading some of the things on the agenda, I did notice Ben Skarka's letter about Adelino Lopes. Just this morning, I had notified the traffic department and the city clerk's department that his checks returned, unable to process those payments out of the bank. So, and I mean, I don't work in those departments, but I'm pretty sure this clerk's check was for his licensing, bulky waste, and then traffic, obviously, for the event. So I wanted to share that
Separate
information.
checks for
Yes.
the application for the,
Yes, because the individual departments actually taken the payments and process those. But it's part of my responsibility to notify them if any checks return.
would that also include payment for police details?
That I'm not sure.
Okay, could you look into that? I know we
Yes.
pay the police officers and then when we get payment, we offset it, but we are actually the entity that pays for police details at the outset. So, could you send us a communication on that for our next meeting?
Absolutely. Yes.
Appreciate that. Anybody have any questions for the Assistant
Thank you
Treasurer?
for bringing that to our
Yeah,
attention.
I
Appreciate it.
asked too if he paid. My next question was gonna be, oh, and I just want to make sure this fee was paid. And I was like, I'm sure it is.
If I may add, the checks were returned for unable to locate. I have banking experience. I used to work for a bank. That usually means that they were written off an account that's no longer on the records anymore. Because if it was just a closed account, it would come back as closed account. Insufficient funds, it would come back as that. So it comes out unable to locate.
And you notified who about this?
The traffic division, so Randy,
Okay.
Winchell at traffic, and then city clerk's department.
All right, would you please copy the letter we're requesting to the chief of police as well?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Allowed to apply for any more licenses.
What's that?
You won't be allowed to apply for any more licenses.
Okay. Okay. Is there?
Yeah, but there are other,
People that.
there's other criminality that could be associated with that. I'd like the police chief to understand that.
Is there a pathway through like the license committee to put some sort of permanent ban or some more restriction
I
on?
don't know if we could do that, but
Okay.
we, we could consider an ordinance through the license committee that says if an applicant, any applicant, acts in a manner to not pay or bounces a check or whatever else that they may be, you have to kind of couch things like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think
There's some.
it might be something worth pursuing through the license committee.
Okay.
When we get a situation like that, we'll typically reach out to that person, and a lot of times it's
Mistake.
a mistake. So
Yeah.
they'll come right in and they'll take care of it right away. But we, two things. One, we don't allow them to apply for other licenses until that's paid. And two, or at least for a while, we restrict the use of personal checks. So it'd have to be through bank checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just a policy. I think,
Yeah.
I think Counselor is right that, you know, we can, if that's the policy and that's the way to handle it, maybe we can adopt it through ordinance. Has a little bit more teeth and nobody can question whether or why you're doing what you're doing. So,
Yeah.
are you the chair of license?
I am chair of license.
Oh, well, you're
gonna have a meeting.
You might want to call a meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor, before we get off that topic,
Yeah,
Counselor?
I just wanted to ask, but it's in the application, the permit application, because there's a lot of information that says, you know, if you get a crowd of 50 or more, you need this. Is there anything that says about if you bounce a check or we can't cash a check, this or that? Maybe that would be helpful. So.
Okay, not on there, but I think most people know if they're bouncing checks.
Well, I know.
Well, I mean, that would be part of the ordinance. If the ordinance, I'm sorry, if the license committee so chooses, the ordinance could say that the clerk is instructed to include this disclaimer or whatever the case may be. So we work that through with your committee. You know, I've spoken a number of times with Councilor Codere about revamping the use of Festival Pier. I was thinking more of an ordinance, but maybe that would be a joint ordinance and license committee meeting.
Yeah.
You know, we're just about into the fall.
Yeah.
Maybe November, December, January, February, we can come up with a game plan on both those issues and pursue them jointly.
Yeah, I
Does that
think,
work?
yeah, I think, you know, Councilor Rougeau mentioned like this is the most calls he got. I think if there's ever a time for the license committee to meet and discuss what's been happening with licenses, it would be right
Yeah.
now. So
Absolutely, positively, yes. Councilor, you're the ordinance chair. Does that work for you?
What?
All right. I don't want to throw any more work on you.
I'm gonna put that in my calendar right now.
Once a week for November, January, February, and March. Okay, I think that takes care of E, yes?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Councilor Gregg, you have F, G, and J. Do you want to take them all at once or separately?
Well, I'll take G first and then combine F and J.
Okay, so G.
So the permit status, so just wanted to, and it's not clear. I saw the letter, it doesn't say anything about whether other permits were issued of any sorts. So as they're moving forward with the construction, I mean, I'd like to know what permits they've applied to and what's, what form and that sort of thing. So maybe we could ask him to
Didn't
clarify.
adequately answer your question. It's just, are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this, it doesn't say anything other than, well, like stated the last time, they applied for a permit. But I mean, permits, and I looked at the permit, but it's supposed to be signed by the zoning director, whoever, at each stage of the construction. I'd like to get an update on it, shows which stage they're at and if there's any other permits they've applied to for. So that.
Okay, so you'd like to send a letter to the zoning director asking if there is any other permit information that would now be pertinent?
Yes, and also if he could send to the council a copy of the permit where the zoning department has signed off on the various stages.
But we don't know that they're at a various, this might be stage one.
Well,
So
if then it should be checked off and signed, because I looked at the one that he had sent us, it's blank in terms of the
And
first.
again, that might be the starting point, right? You issue the building permit, and as they get to stage 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know either. I'm just saying.
You may, I think he wants confirmation. If it is
Right.
just the beginning, then.
So.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you'd like a letter that asks him for any permit documentation relative to 1 Mashashik.
Yeah. And the initial permit, I mean, I don't
The
have it
the
here.
permit itself is opposed to a letter, is what you're saying. A copy
Yeah.
of the, copy of the permit and any other thing, any other permit.
Pending or about to be,
Okay.
for file. So that's.
Yeah, that makes sense, Rick. Do you understand that?
I just, any permit information on J and K and a copy of the original permit.
Yeah, well, showing the
building
stages,
permit.
the building permit, the stages where they're at. So, because it's
So-
supposed to be signed off by the zoning director. I saw the blank copy.
Right.
In
Yeah.
any stages, if there are any,
Yeah.
and then are they signed off?
Whatever
You say
permit,
complete.
we'd like copies of whatever permits issued thus far to,
JK Equities, Blackstone.
Showing the
distribution.
stages that have been.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's.
just the permit. They apparently they should have that,
Approval of it, if there was.
that approval on there. So, and again, I don't know enough about zoning permitting process, but
Well, it's the one that he has sent us the last time. They said they apply, but then in the middle of it, it shows blocks with different stages where someone from the zoning or permitting.
Oh,
process
supposed-
yeah,
takes
so
off.
that,
So-
I suspect, I could be wrong, I suspect that copy, their copy is kept on file of zoning. And then 3 weeks from now, when demolition is complete, they fill that in. 6 months later, when whatever the next stage is complete, they do it then. I suspect that's the case. I think what his letter says was they've issued a building permit, right? You're right, it may have stages to go. But nonetheless, a copy of the building permit, relative to the date he sends it to us, and any other permitting documents relative to One Mashasik and J and K Equities.
And the construction person there, just was listed. I think that one of them, but it's not new in construction, is it?
What?
Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to find the contractor that's currently doing work over there. I'm trying to figure out the names.
Would that be on a permit?
No, I
Yeah, the
don't think
contract
it was, no?
The contractor generally applies for the.
Yes.
Stage there, like the contractor will say, I'm now at the plumbing stage, I'm now at the electrical stage or whatever it is.
Yeah, because I think it doesn't a contractor generally have to pull the permit?
A contractor pulls the permit and each stage is, there's, as far as I know, there's a different cost associated with each.
Okay,
And it's based on the permit, if I'm not mistaken, is based on the total price of that particular aspect, like plumbing or electrical, or maybe combined in the trades.
Got it.
yeah, no, I see it here. The general contractor is New England Construction Company. So if there's any permits that's been issued to them, I think the council should have a copy of that as well.
Relative to that project.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah. Regarding one Mashasik Street.
right. I mean, they could have other projects going
Yeah,
on. That's-
I'm not concerned with those.
All right. So, Rick, are you comfortable that you have the sentiment down?
I think this is why I send copies of the letters to the councilors, so if I get it wrong, they can correct.
Okay,
it and I can fix it.
So we're all in
I
favor.
didn't realize that. When you said it, I just said, you just sending me, so I know you said that.
Well, no, you're the teacher. You gotta correct.
Ask
You get it?
Moran, he'll tell you. He's been a
Correct
big-
quite a bit.
Yeah,
No, this
I
is
take
a-
out a red pen. So let's vote on it and then any discussion on that motion to send that correspondence? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Rick, if you would please, before you send it to Counselor Gregor. He knows best what he's looking for, and if it's a little awry, he will let you know.
If you, Rick, if you could please just say review or something, then,
Right.
be
Sure.
helpful. No problem.
Okay, then we said we're
Thank
gonna
you.
take F and J together?
Yes, so I just wanted to briefly comment on this. I think enough has been said about it. I just want to thank all the community residents and stakeholders and everybody else who showed up here and expressed their opinions regarding both the TSA for JK Equities Blackstone Distribution, as well supporting the full preservation rehabilitation of Morley Field. As I said again, I take offense to the communication from Kelly Morris, Salvador Esquire for JK Equities. regarding the mischaracterization of myself and whatever statements I may have saying behind every single item that I stated in that letter. So there it is. I'm not particularly impressed with either the letter that they sent or the presentation that was done with Joe and Colick over here. That's all I'm going to say about it, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.
I'll just weigh in on F since it was addressed directly to me. You know, it's kind of funny. You said, how come it was addressed to you? You addressed your letter directly to me and then asked me in the last paragraph for me specifically to look into these things.
Oh, it was? Okay.
You wrote it, right? You wrote it, right?
Yeah, to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It took him a while to answer the good test.
No. Your letter was to me, and generally speaking, we put it. But then you in the last paragraph, you say, as council president, I would ask that you look into these things. So I just want to let you know I did. I got it last Thursday. You may not think so, but I do this job 7 days a week, and I did look into it. I asked, among other things, I asked for clarification about the TSA itself, right? I sought out a response from DEM, whether there are any outstanding complaints, because if I'm recalling, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm recalling the second paragraph on the second page that, you said, I fear this, I believe this, it all seemed to be, in your words, in your heart, correct, but the words suggest conjecture. So I just wanted to follow through as you asked. And what I found was that DEM says there are no violations. No, I guess that's the word, violations. And I checked in on the sufficiency of the TSA. We did approve it. It was November of 23, and it was this composition of the council. It was, your first term, and Councilor Rubio's first term, and now we're all back together in one happy family. But so I did look into it. You asked me specifically to look into it. I just wanted to let you know that I did. And what I was told by DEM or from DEM was that what their attorney said, that there are no outstanding violations. And I got the same answer from our zoning department. So I didn't want you to think I did not do as you asked.
Yeah, and I appreciate you doing that. However, I mean, I think it's been suggested it would be great if each and every member of this council takes a ride over there and actually takes a look at what's happening over there. Everything that they're saying is totally untrue. You look at the perimeter, it's missing basic measures to protect the public. And most of the time when they're excavating, the dust is all over the place. The grinding cement that I can smell from my backyard when I live three blocks down the street. So they're misrepresenting it. The fact that the RIDM has looked the other way, or our zoning department has looked the other way, that's something that I can't explain. That's for them to do, but it's visible.
I did have some interaction with the zoning director, Carl Johnson, specifically about this when I was asking. And I asked him to go out. What is today? Today's Wednesday. Yesterday morning, I asked him to go out and review. He sent me a bunch of photos, but I printed out 3 that show on both Tuesday and on Wednesday that they were spraying down as they were doing it. I'm just offering that, and it was, we just tore down McCoy Stadium, right? It was the same sort of issue. There was dust. That's an entirely concrete facility. There was a lot of dust, but I did notice a lot of hosing down as they were working. I really thought it was about the metal getting hot or something. I didn't realize it was for dust mitigation. So
You're not in warehouses.
just so you know that according to the photos sent to me by the zoning director, they are routinely or daily spraying it down as they do it. And whether it's satisfactory or not, I don't know. Whether I can't suggest that DEM is, quote, looking the other way. They're a state agency. They're responsible for that very function. So I have to assume they know what they're doing.
Yeah, no, I realize and I appreciate you looking into it, but I am disappointed about the RIDM for looking sideways while that site remained in the state it was for 2.5 years. But the fact that they haven't been fined for any violation is mind-boggling. Truly is. But that's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay. And we're good on J as well, yes? Okay, then usually that's items 1 and 2, but today it's just 1.
Yeah, we
So
have, yeah.
We're on to item 2.
The
Are you
number two,
renumbering now, Rick?
No, computers.
Yeah,
Computers
yeah,
do
yeah.
things.
Blame it on the computer.
Blame it on the computer.
Should have was AI.
If I'm buying my computer for $20, I'm going up to the top of that tower and I'm throwing it off. That's just one of the.
Okay, so we're on to item 2.
Item 2 is a communication from His Honor Donald R. Being to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, submitting the following appointment to the Pawtucket Redevelopment Agency or confirmation off and from 110 8th Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 028 6 on a term expiring September 11th, and the 30, I move for approval on a
Moved by Council Moreno, seconded by Council Wildenhain. A communication from his mayor, Donald R. Grabbing to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council submitting the following appointment to the Pawtucket Redevelopment Agency. Mark T. McLaughlin, 110 Gate Street, Pawtucket, for a term that expires September 11th, 2030. The motion is for confirmation on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Councilor Ruzo.
Yes.
Councilor Codere.
Yes.
Councilor Gregor.
Yes.
Councilor Moran.
Yes.
Councilor Moreno.
Yes.
Councilor Kubiak.
Yes.
Councilor Wildenhain.
Yes.
8-0.
Item 3 is an appointment by the council president of a council member to serve on the Arts Panel Review Committee. It's a term that expires in June 1 of 2028. Councilor Moreno has agreed graciously to jump on board again on that in that role. So I thank him for the first term, and I thank him for this term that ends in 2028. Item 4.
Item 4 is a communication, I'm sorry, it's a reappointment by the council president to the Arts Panel Review Committee for confirmation.
4.
4.
Yes.
I am reading 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was.
What
You were
day,
right.
what day is it again?
My mistake. I apologize.
Tammy Worthington Widzak, 145 Sheffield Avenue, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 02860. Term expires June 1st, 2028. I call for approval and a roll call vote.
The move by Councilor Codere, second by Councilor Moran, that a reappointment by the council president to the Arts Panel Review Committee. Tammy Worthington Witzik, 145 Sheffield Avenue in Pawtucket, for a term that expires June 1, 2028, along with Councilor Moreno. The motion is for confirmation on a roll call vote. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Aye. Yes.
Councilor Codere.
Yes.
Councilor Gregor. Councilor Moran.
Yes.
Councilor Moreno. Council Kubiak? Council Wildenhain?
Yes.
7-0.
Item number 5 is a communication from Rachel Golston, MMC, City Clerk, to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, submitting the following reappointment by Council President Mercer as a member of the Riverfront Commission, pending confirmation by Mayor Donald Gravian. Riverfront Commission, John J. Barry III, 118 Division Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 02860. Term expires Monday the first Monday of June of 2028. I call for approval on a roll call vote.
Moved by Councilor Codere, second by both Councilor Wildenhain and Councilor Moran, that a communication from Richard J. Goldstein, MMC, to the city clerk. The honorable members of Pawtucket City Council submitting the following reappointment by the council president as a member of the Riverfront Commission, pending confirmation by Mayor Donald R. Grebian. John J. Barry III from 118 Division Street, Pawtucket, for a term that expires the first Monday in June of 2028. Is there any discussion on the motion for a confirmation? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer?
Yes.
Council Ruzo?
Yes.
Council Codere?
Yes.
Council Gregor?
Yes.
Council Moran?
Yes.
Council Moreno? Council Kubiak?
Yes.
Council Wildenhain?
Yes.
8-0.
Hey, Clerk, for the record, I would have voted yes for 4-2. I was missing, okay?
Item 6, communication from Richard J. Goldstein, MMC. What is that?
Master.
Mr. Master
Okay,
Clerk.
okay,
Master Municipal Clerk, correct?
Master Municipal Clerk.
Michelle? No.
City Clerk, to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, submitting the following reappointment by Council President Mercer as a member of the Riverfront Commission, pending confirmation by Mayor Donald Caribbean. Riverfront Commission, Miriam
Split.
Miriam Plitt, 44 Cook Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 02860. So term expires first Monday in June 2028. I move for a roll call vote on the appointment.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Gregor, second by Councilor Codere and Councilor Moran, that a communication from Richard J. Goldstein, MMC, City Clerk, to the honorable members of Pawtucket City Council, submitting the following reappointment by the council president as a member of the Riverfront Commission. This would be pending confirmation by Mayor Donald R. Grebian. Miriam Plitt, 44 Cook Street, Pawtucket, term that expires the first Monday in June of 2028. The motion is for confirmation on a roll call vote. Any discussion? The clerk will please call the roll.
President Mercer?
Yes.
Council Ruzo?
Yes.
Council Codere?
Yes.
Council Gregor?
Yes.
Council Moran?
Yes.
Council Moreno? Council Kubiak?
Yes.
Council Wildenhain?
Yes.
8-0.
Rick, I didn't assign 7 to anybody. It's been postponed. Do we need, do we need to?
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion.
Been moved by Councilor Ruja, second by Councilor Codere, that item 7, a resolution congratulating Dr. Robert Billington on his retirement as the director of the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council. It's being postponed to a future date. Any discussion on postponing? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That was my fault.
Number 8 is a resolution urging RIPTA to retain Route 71 in the city of Pawtucket that services the Pawtucket Central Falls Commuter Rail Station. This comes before us for a vote. However, Mr. President, you mentioned we want to, I guess, put forth an amendment to include all the routes in Pawtucket.
Yes, so why don't we take it up? It's been moved by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Arujo, that we consider a resolution urging RIPTA, Rhode Island Public Transit Association, to retain Route 71 in the city of Pawtucket that services the Pawtucket and Central Falls Commuter Rail Station. All in favor of discussion?
Aye.
Yeah, I was surprised that I know the importance of Route 71 and all of that infrastructure in the TOD, but it's equally devastating to folks who have to get around on the other bus lines in the city. So I don't have any prepared language, but I would entertain a motion. The third paragraph, let's see there, there's so,
Yeah,
Maybe
they
we
talk
just
about one
add
route
other
specifically.
and other, you just put,
Well, what, how about if we just do,
how about if we take the last whereas paragraph, the elimination of this segment of Route 71, and all other proposed
yes.
cuts to Pawtucket service would run contrary to RIPTA's 2024 existing conditions report, which it does recommend prioritizing routes to and from urban transit hubs like that. So you got that language first, Rick?
And all other routes in Pawtucket?
And
Yes.
all other routes proposed
Proposed
for elimination, and all of the Pawtucket routes,
And all of the change
propo-
Pawtucket routes, because it's not all eliminations. It's-
Okay,
it's
yes.
reductions and.
Yep. And then that would be, now therefore be it resolved, the potential harm to the quality of life of residents, service disruption,
I think that
and
covers it.
service disruption to Pawtucket bus lines or Pawtucket routes, and especially the Central Falls. Are we good with that language just to show that we're supporting, or we're opposing all of the proposed cuts?
What's that again?
I thought you were writing it down. In the now therefore.
Yeah.
Disruption of service to the Pawtucket, to
Changes.
the service disruption to Pawtucket routes, comma, especially to the Pawtucket Central Falls, so just comma especially. And then that should work. They're gonna do what they're going to do, unfortunately, but I agree that I got wind of this about 2 weeks ago. I got a text from a constituent who had just retired from RIPTA after like 35 years. Just explaining how devastating these cuts, he sees it. He was a bus driver for a long time. He sees how desperately people need mass transit. So I would appreciate if somebody would make the motion to amend.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to amend so that you were changing the whereas, the last whereas, right? Is that what
Last
you-
whereas,
right?
You say,
yeah, the elimination of routes in Pawtucket, including the segment of Route 71.
So my only addition would be, do we do anything with the paragraph? Then the now therefore just talks about Route 71.
Yes, it does. You're right.
That's right. That's what I said.
Oh, that's
The
what-
now therefore is where
okay.
that was going to
That's
be.
where that was going. So you're not touching anything above?
Yeah, we were talking.
You're still doing the whereas. You're still, yeah, the last whereas.
And then now therefore be
Yeah,
it resolved.
okay.
And I think I said, recognizing the potential harm to the quality of life of our residents and the service disruption to Pawtucket routes, comma, especially to the Pawtucket Central Falls Commuter Rail Station.
Okay. All right.
Does hereby oppose, blah, blah, blah.
That covers it.
No change to.
Sure.
So that would be no change to paragraph 3, which still only highlights the 71.
no, you
No, you didn't. I was going to say, you didn't mention the third one.
You just mentioned.
no,
three,
no, I
then.
thought he did mention paragraph.
No, but he's
In paragraph 3, but he didn't recommend the change. He
I
didn't.
think it was that paragraph could stand alone and
Because my concern with that paragraph standing alone is that it only mentions the 71 and highlights
Yeah, I was going to
destinations
mention
on it.
that too. Can we? do
Whereas like
something with
this,
that?
and it's also, not to opposing cuts to the 71, but it's right between the 1 and the R line. The 73 is the only route that serves Saint Germain Manor, and there's nothing near it. The 76 is the only route that serves Stop and Shop, and there's nothing near it.
May I?
I'd like to take a brief recess. If nobody opposes it, okay?
Yeah.
We will stand in recess. Let's talk about some language.
Yeah, I think it makes sense
Yeah.
to
Including but
actually
not
list
limited.
each route.
You know what?
Or
President,
either
included in,
Let's try and, sorry.
Including but not limited to, that might be good language, okay?
I could tell the master clerk wasn't quite clear what you were saying.
Including but not limited to.
Yeah. All right, so let me just, this is the paragraph we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
If we took among the roots, right, so we go among the roots proposed to be cut at 70.
Yeah.
And then down to there, and
That's a federal offense.
so among the,
Federal
right,
offense.
and then
They were-
additionally
they gotta
onto
go-
this,
yeah,
a second.
Because he's a civil servant.
No.
Period instead of
Because
semi.
if somebody
Ellie
you,
just mentioned.
it's still a federal offense. because you're a
St.
civil
Maine, I have a
servant.
good friend of mine that
Okay.
takes the bus from St.
Huh?
Maine area every day to Cranston to go to work.
Well, once there was a guy.
Okay, so if we made it among,
Bus.
and then we put down.
My dad got to leave them all.
I don't know.
This guy was like. close
How about moreover?
Yeah.
And you tell me.
Oh, you could have.
Yeah,
We have-
moreover,
Really bothering
um,
people. That's really the only stories my dad. My mom used to go and like sit on the bus and just ride with
I
them.
just want to make it sure
Spend
it
time with them.
reads correctly, right?
Yeah.
Among the.
Square.
Okay, are we still in recess? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I would like to reconvene as the Pawtucket City Council to address a proposed amendment language for the resolution. The third whereas paragraph.
Write this down or are you gonna?
No, because you're not gonna be able to, you're gonna write this down. The third whereas paragraph, strike the word one and put among or one of. Among the routes proposed to be cut is, and then you can go down to infrastructure, and instead of a semicolon, like a period.
It's the next to last word in the.
And
We're gonna talk about this when we're done.
yes, and also the elimination of Route 73 dash serving Saint Germain Manor on Mineral Spring Avenue. Oh,
Talk about this now.
okay, but they need to know this. Comma, and Route 75 servicing Lincoln Mall. and CCRI and employment opportunities in that area. Route 76, the only line servicing the Pawtucket Stop and Shop on Cottage Street. Route 80, the only line serving Slater Park. Semicolon and. The elimination, last whereas the elimination or reduction of services to Pawtucket lines, including especially the segment of Route 71. We would leave it that way. And then now therefore, you already wrote down what I said for now therefore, yes?
He hasn't written anything.
Yeah, you did.
I did write something down, but I don't know if it's the same as what you got.
Yeah.
So-
I'm sure
later.
I'm sure it is. Okay, so then it's been moved by Council Moran, second by Councilor Rougeau and Councilor Codier. Councilor Gregor, that we amend the resolution. Thusly, as
suggested.
as described.
Do we have to vote on the amendment?
We have to vote on the amendment and then.
Yeah, let's do that.
So is there any discussion on the articulated amendments? Hearing none, roll call. Clerk will call a roll on the amendments.
President Mercer,
Yes.
Councilor Rougeau.
Yes.
Councilor Codere.
Yes.
Councilor Gregor.
Yes.
Councilor Moran.
Yes.
Councilor Moreno. Yes. Councilor Sokoviec.
Yes.
Councilor Wildenhain.
Yes.
8-0.
In that case, it's been moved by Councilor Moran and seconded by Councilor Rougeau that approval be given to the resolution as amended. Any discussion on the resolution as amended? Clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Councilor Rougeau.
Yes.
Councilor Codere.
Yes.
Councilor Gregor.
Yes.
Councilor Moran.
Yes.
Councilor Moreno. Yes. Councilor Sokoviec.
Yes.
Councilor Wildenhain.
Yes.
8-0.
Number 9, a resolution proclaiming August 18th, 2025 to be Mackinac Remembrance Day 2025. I call for approval on a roll call vote. Second.
Been moved by Councilor Wildenhain, second by Councilor Moran, that approval be given to a resolution proclaiming August 18th, 2025 to be the Mackinac Remembrance Day 2025. Any discussion on this resolution? Councilor Wildenhain.
Thank you, Council President. I want to thank the administration came to me and asked me if I would be part of a 100th year celebration, remembrance, not celebration, but of this tragedy. It reminds me of when people come back from war, they never talk about something. But if you were affected by this tragedy, we always talked about it. I lost a great grandmother, an aunt, an uncle, another cousin of my father's passed away on it. And we celebrated 75-year one 25 years ago. We've been fortunate to get Father Bernie. He's going to come back and do the Irish prayer again. He was fantastic. The administration has procured a tree to go in back of the monument that we have down on the dockside there. I really want to thank the Director of Administration, Tracy Giron, and Deputy Director Elizabeth Morera, and Mayor Gribbian for bringing it to my attention and really putting this all together. And tell you is if any of you want to come down that day, there'll be a small speaking arrangement, and we'll be relaying a wreath like we did 25 years ago. But I really do appreciate it, and I know the families that have been affected by this, and there are several. My grandmother spent 8 weeks in the hospital, and just the stories, again, the stories that were told that keep this memory alive through family members and the Gilligans and Johnsons and everybody else. So I just want to thank the administration for this recognition.
Thank you, Councilor. Anyone else? In that case, the clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Councilor Rougeau.
Yes.
Councilor Codere.
Yes.
Councilor Gregor.
Yes.
Councilor Moran.
Yes.
Councilor Moreno. Council Kubiak.
Yes.
Council Wildenhain.
And before I say yes, I also want to thank Rob Ganji down in planning for the work that he's put in on this too. Yes.
8-0.
Number 10, Finance Committee returns the following: an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 26 and 40 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, regarding municipal court and the establishment of a technology surcharge fund. I call for approval for first passage on a roll call vote.
Second.
Moved by Council Wildenhain, second by Council Moran, that the Finance Committee returns the following: an ordinance amendment of chapters 26 and 40 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, regarding municipal court and the establishment of a technology surcharge fund. The recommendation is for first passage on a roll call vote. Any discussion?
I had a question regarding that. What are the fees that are being charged along with those tickets being issued?
Counselor?
$3.50 will be the charge on the surcharge fund.
Well, what are the fees besides that one that's being proposed?
That's the only one that I know about. There's the fee for traffic court. You're paying for court cost.
But the only thing changing
then
here is
fine.
that $3.50.
The only thing we're changing is the $3.50 surcharge on that to pay for the technology in traffic court.
Okay, so there's no other fees other than the fine and this technology.
Right, just the
Yeah.
surcharge. That's
Anything
it. That's
already
it.
existing is
It's staying the
staying,
same.
this is added.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, I know,
What
I-
are the other fees besides, are there any other administrative fees or anything like being added? Because I
No.
mean, if you're just adding an additional,
There's a surcharge for technology, and that is what they're addressing here. I don't know any other fees, Council. I'd have to get a hold of the chief and get you that answer, and I'll get it to you. But I don't know if that helps you for now for,
We're only acting on one thing that's changing, so everything else is already
it's first
existing,
passage.
has
and
already,
you got
has
second
already
passage
been.
coming. I'll have you the answer before that.
okay, all right, thanks.
Okay, so in that case, it's for first passage on a roll call vote. Any further discussion? Clerk will please call the roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
Yes.
Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Kubiak.
Yes.
Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
8-0.
Item number 11, the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits returns the following claim for damages against the city. Chandra Parada, $268.81 for a tire. My motion is to deny and refer to C. Brito Construction.
Moved by Councilor Aruja, second by Councilor Moran, that the Claims Committee and pending suits returns the following claims for damages against the city, with the recommendation that a claim by Chandra Pereira in the amount of $268.81 be denied and referred to C. Brito Construction Company. Any discussion on that? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
Yes.
Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Kubiak. Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
8-0.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket City Council. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Moved by Councilor Aruja, second by Councilor Codere, that we adjourn as Pawtucket City Council. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.